What is up, everybody? Welcome to PCP Movie Night here on Pop Culture Philosophers. I am your host, Rockin Robbie Bills, and tonight we are in the midst of ActionFest 2024, and we're talking about a deconstruction, meta-type action movie, if you will, about the action genre from 1993. We're talking about Last Action Hero, a movie I have not seen since the 90s. And I'm ready to talk about it. This will be the third John McTiernan film that we've talked about in this Action Fest, because we already talked about Die Hard and Die Hard with a Vengeance, and now it's time for Last Action Hero, and we got a great panel lined up to join us tonight, including Easy Dick Eric from 9 Panel Grid. What is up, my man?
Hey, man, how you doing?
Dude, super excited to have you here to join us for this conversation, but dude, happy Action Fest debut, Eric.
Yes, absolutely. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be here for this movie too, man. This has such nostalgic vibes for me, so I can't wait to talk about it.
Hell yeah. Speaking of nostalgic vibes, the only reason why this dude is a part of the Excitable PCP crew is because he gives me nostalgic vibes. It's Brooks.
What's up?
What's up? You excited to talk about this movie?
Yeah, man. This is one I had not seen in a long time, not since I was a little kid. And I remember loving it then. I was curious, like, do I still love it?
Yeah. Do you remember the Burger King kids meal?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
All the promo shit around this movie.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of Burger King, this dude's been keeping Burger King alive in his state for 20 years right now. It's Stu from Dr. Doom's Fan Club.
Station. How's everybody doing tonight, man? So happy to be here with y'all.
Dude, super excited to have you here. And of course, we got the usual man here who usually likes to shit on movies. Sometimes he likes to jerk off movies. You never know what we're getting out of this guy. It's Jelani. What's up?
Well, I do like to, shit and jerk off. So good time.
At the same time.
Same sound.
All right. We're not even 5
All
minutes
right.
in. We've been demonetized. So that's nice.
You're
Let's go.
welcome.
Thanks, bro.
Free reign. Free reign. All right. I want everybody to wish this dude an incredibly happy fucking birthday.
Hey.
Like 100%, y'all. It's his birthday. It's his day. Everybody give a mighty warm station, a pop, pop, boom, and a happy motherfucking birthday to the missing link himself, our homie Steph. What is up?
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Station.
Happy birthday, bro.
Dude, for real,
Thank you.
20 years old this year. One more year, you can drink legally. It's great.
Yeah, next year I'm waiting. I'm excited. I can
time.
find school now as well. So they
You
fucked me
fucking
over.
vampire, you.
I tell you what, when you're able to have a sip of alcohol, it's going to make this movie a little bit better. Just a little bit. No matter what you think about it, it's going to make it a little bit better. So anyway, happy
I
birthday,
agree.
Steph. Good to see you here, bro.
Thank you. Happy to be
All
here,
right.
fellas.
This is a movie not as disturbing as Martyrs, Steph. So I think we're cool. I love it. In the Martyrs review we did, I said, this is the most disturbing movie I've ever seen in my adult life. Steph goes, I just watched this movie like 2 hours ago. I don't fucking know what to think about this movie right now. All right, but we're talking about Last Action Hero, 1993 movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, directed by Shane McTiernan. It is originally from a script by Zach Penn and Adam Leff. Zach Penn becomes a big deal in Hollywood screenwriting. We know him from, for instance, working on X2, X-Men The Last Stand. We forget about that, as well as the Avengers and the Incredible Hulk. This dude is like a Marvel zombie, apparently. But also it had some rework by David Arnott and Shane Black, believe it or not. Directed by John McTiernan. It is a parody of action films, directed and written by people who are responsible for the action films that this movie was parodying, and starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and a lot of cameos. It's exciting to talk about. I have not seen this movie. So I watched this movie in the movie theaters, right? Here's the crazy story about this movie is this. Zach Penn and his dude, they came up with this story idea. They came up with this ambitious script. Arnold got involved. He thought the script was a little amateurish, right? And they brought in other people that were uncredited, including Carrie fucking Fisher and William Goldman, worked as script doctors on this movie, right? I think Goldman got paid like $1 million to work on this script for a few months and not even get a credit. Like, okay, I'll take that deal. Who wants to give me $1 million to just work on your script? I don't need no credit. The $1 million is enough. But this was a movie that was supposed to be a big deal. It was Arnold's follow-up to T2 Judgment Day, which is one of the greatest action films of all time. We've never covered it here on PCP Movie Night. Keep that in mind, right? Because there's something big coming in 2025's ActionFest. I'm not going to reveal it yet, but it's the Terminator franchise. So that's going to be fun.
Wait, no, not all of them. No,
all of them.
We'll do 2. We'll do
Every
1.
single one.
Genesis, but you know what? We're not even revealing it yet. Don't worry about it. So we're here to talk about Last Action Hero. This movie was the follow-up for Arnold for T2. It was a clever script that kept getting retweaked. They picked a release date. Columbia picked a release date for this movie, June 18th or some shit. They stuck with it. Even though the production kind of had some problems. It was a tempestuous production, let's just say that. And at some point, they had to redo the ending because of test screen audience scores. And this movie was still being frantically edited together weeks before it released. It also released the very next week after Jurassic Park.
Yep.
But they thought that this movie would kill Jurassic Park because the previous Spielberg film was Hook, which was a commercial and critical flop, right? And they thought the era of Spielberg was over. They were so fucking wrong. Like, Jurassic Park almost made $1 billion at the box office in 1993.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane compared to the rest of cinema history, right? But this movie got swallowed up. It did not get reviewed very well. It did not make a lot of money. It made $137 million at the box office. That sounds like a hit from 1993, right? And in those days, we're like, if you make 100 mil, you're a blockbuster. The problem is this movie cost $85 million to make. Most of that involved Arnold's pay, the Burger King tie-in, and the fact that they actually had an unmanned rocket that they had emblazoned with the Last Action Hero logo that, because of NASA scheduling conflicts, didn't get launched until like 2 or 3 months after this movie had flopped. So talk about some missed opportunities there. But I saw this movie in the theater. Jurassic Park in the theater, that was one of the most significant movie memories of my life, of going to a movie theater, right? Because I was the oldest of 6 kids. We didn't go to the movies very often. When I did, it was a very special occasion. Jurassic Park was one of those. Well, I went and saw Last Action Hero in the movie theater, and I remember even a 12-year-old Robbie, I was veering into snobby Robbie, and I even remember being like, this movie is not that good. It's trying to make fun of things, but it just doesn't understand what it's doing. I remember this shit. Like, I said that shit back in the day. Then I watched it when it released on VHS, said the same shit, never bought any of the toys. There was a toy line. There was the Burger King tie-in. They really pushed this fucking movie. Why am I, in the 90s, dumbass snobby Robbie, more of a fan of Congo than this movie? Blows my mind. It's probably because of the volcano taco from Taco Bell. If Last Action Hero had a Taco Bell tie-in instead of Burger King, I'd probably be more of a fan. That being said, I picked this movie because I knew it's a meta action movie starring Arnold, John McTiernan, Shane Black involved. This is something we've got to talk about on an ActionFest, right? And as I'm picking the best lineup we've ever had for ActionFest here on PCP Movie Night, I put this one in because I was like, if this one's a dud, it's going to be a good dud. And I am pleased to say it's not a dud. I had so much fun rewatching this movie, a movie that my entire life I said was weak and didn't really fully deliver. Now, I do think it has its problems. It's a little uneven. It's a little long. It's way too fucking long. Why is this movie over 2 hours long? Yeah. That's stupid as shit. This movie should not be that fucking long, but it actually is. It's actually, I would say, trying to dive deeper into like some metatextual stuff about action movies and action heroes. But I guess I would say that it doesn't necessarily super dive deep into it, but it kind of skims on it a little bit. But I don't know. There's something about this movie that I really liked on the rewatch, whether it was Tom Noonan showing up to play another creepy fucking serial killer online. This movie's darker than I remembered it being. and I really appreciate that. Arnold, I'm not going to lie. I think this is one of Arnold's best performances because he's giving us comedy. He's giving us action star. He's giving us drama. Like that moment where he goes up to Arnold Schwarzenegger and says, I don't like you. You've been the reason of so much pain in my life. Like there is something there, right? It doesn't get fully realized to me. I will not say this is a perfect movie. So far, ActionFest has been filled with a lot of 5 you dig movies, right? For me, this may not be one. But man, do I appreciate this movie more in 2024 than I did in 1993 or in 1994. Like, seriously, I love the characters in this movie. I love the comedy in this movie. I love the action in this movie. And the kid's still kind of annoying. I bet Jelani's got some thoughts on this kid. Kid's still kind of annoying, but not as annoying as my father's going to kick your ass. You know?
Yeah, that's the worst kid.
It's not that bad.
Devil's Satan's little helpers.
Yeah, this ain't Predator. It ain't Die Hard. It ain't Commando. Jesus Christ, it ain't even Rambo fucking 3. You know what I'm saying? But it is something special and unique. And out of all the ActionFest lineup, the only movie I don't own on Blu-ray, and I thought about buying it, but I didn't. But guess what now? I'm fucking buying this movie on Blu-ray because this is going to be a continuous watch for me. I really enjoyed it on the rewatch. I was wrong 20-something fucking years ago. Fuck, almost 30 years ago now, right? Fuck, this movie's what, 29 years old? Get the fuck out of here.
We're old.
We're so fucking old, dude. Anyway, I thought the movie was way better than I remembered. I had a lot of fun watching it. I do have some issues with it. It's a little bit too long. Too many cameos. Why is Little Richard in this fucking movie? There's no
What's he even saying? What is he even saying?
I don't
It's
even
like
know.
Half unintelligible. Yeah.
I feel like the direct John McTiernan was like fucking at a he went to somebody's house. He was out buying cocaine.
Yeah.
And Little Richard was there. He goes, "You want to be in the movie I'm fucking making?" I don't fucking know.
That sounds accurate as fuck.
Little Richard was in a lot of stuff in the 90s around that time.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
They had to put him in. Yeah.
By the way, y'all, the CBC Awards are going on right now. So I want everybody to go to the cbcawards.org and vote for PCP for favorite channel of the year. Do not vote for me for Hall of Fame because that will make me feel older than Last Action Hero makes me feel, okay? So I don't need that, right? Give that shit to Jim Mint before you give it to me, man. Fuck that. You know, I don't want to do that. I don't want to deal with that right now. But vote for us for best collaboration for the monthly comic book review. Vote for us for best comic book review for the weekly comic book review. Best ongoing series for the weekly comic book review. Best live chat show for Rockin' Robbie Live because I think we've earned that. But do vote for 9-panel grid for best new fucking channel because he deserves that. And I can't think of a new channel that's better than what Easy Dicky has been doing. So thank you so much for being here, Eric. Last Action Hero, what's your history? What do you think?
So I remember going to see this in the movie theater when it came out, just like you did. And this released the same year that my brother was born. So this was kind of like that thing where my parents were like, don't worry, man, everything's going to be the same here. And don't worry, we're going to prove it to you, man, because we're going to take you to the movie theater, take you to go see this movie. And I don't know, man, like I have a very sincere love for this movie. And I know that it has its faults from top to bottom. But man, I enjoyed every single second of watching this movie. Not only that, but way back in the day when this came out, it was kind of still, you know, looking back, it was kind of at like the death, you know, thrall of the grunge era. But man, I was a big Alice in Chains fan. And this had 2 songs on the soundtrack that you could not get on any album. So I would put this VHS in just to hear those songs and freaking rock out. So I love it. I love it so much. And like, look at the names on this list. This should have been a banger. This should have been just as good as Jurassic Park. I kind of hold a grudge against Steven Spielberg at this point. So
you like it?
I love it. It's fantastic.
All right. You even like the animated cat, which apparently Dynamite's just that's the bridge too far for him.
No, Danny DeVito, Arnold Schwarzenegger was pulling every favor in Hollywood to get this movie to be like the best that it possibly could be. Like, kudos to that dude because he called in every favor.
He
Bro,
really
the
did.
only fucking thing that would make this movie better would be if Paula Abdul showed up and did a duet with that fucking cat. You know what I'm saying? Like opposites attract part 2 or some shit like that, right? And you're right, dude. The soundtrack is fucking baller. I was listening to
killer.
it, dude. You got Cypress Hill, you got fucking Alice in Chains, you got
Megadeth.
AC/DC, Megadeth. You're like, dude, it's a really great fucking soundtrack. Pretty solid. All right, Brooks, you love this movie back in the day. What'd you think about it now, man? What do you think about the movie overall?
Like, honestly, I feel the same. I believe I feel the same way I do as I did as a kid, which is I love it. I can see, its faults, but like I think what it's trying to do, which is like, be this pastiche of action movies and like cliches and stuff. It does it perfectly, and it feels like it understands what it's talking about. And like the reason I saw this movie as a kid, even though it wasn't, it's probably because like I was an Arnold guy. Like Arnold was the guy back when I was a kid. Like he was the action hero.
Mhm.
Like he was the guy. Like after T2.
Some would even say he's the Rock of the 80s and the early 90s.
Yes, yeah, that's a good comparison. Like, and so like I never saw it in the
He's in
theater,
better movies than The Rock, though. Can we just say that? I love Dwayne, but
Mhm.
like, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Right? He's in better
Facts.
movies than The
The
Rock.
Rock is the same character in every movie he's ever.
Yeah,
done.
like Arnold tried
You
to
tell me
branch out.
Arnold's
He tried
not,
different
dude?
things.
Well,
I'm
Arnold's
an
better at it.
average American guy.
He is.
I
He's
like
from
to eat. I
Akron,
like to eat
man.
cheeseburgers with Frank at the
He
bar.
wants me to
when
be
we
in the
play
Chris
Christmas
cards.
is the same
movie where I'm
thing.
chasing down the plastic doll. You want me to be in a
that's the
movie
worst.
where I give birth?
Don't worry, kid. I'm not Turbo Man. I'm not your father.
He's got better comedic
Daddy
timing
DeVito is
than
my
The
twin
Rock.
brother. I love
Oh
it.
yeah.
But yeah, like
if only
Arnold-
Twins was an
like-
action movie.
The sequel.
Twins turns into an action movie by the end, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, like and Arnold's he's giving the full charisma in this movie. He's funny. He's doing his tough guy action thing, and like I think he really delves more into the character. Like he does. It feels like he actually he knows it's a goofy character, but he's also taking it very seriously at the same time, because it is kind of like this character is kind of like basically a parody of himself in a lot of ways, and like
Mhm.
a lot of his action movies, not just like the action star overall, but Arnold in particular, it seems is what this character is strongly based on. So like this movie is fun, and the soundtrack, dude. When I heard like "Cock the Hammer" playing in the background, I'm like,
Yes.
Oh,
No
yeah.
shit, dude. You're like, what the
Fucking
fuck is
Angry
going on
Again?
in
Jeez.
1993?
Right.
what? Yeah, it's like
I love it.
it feels like Arnold did kind of like try and put as much as he could into this movie, and like it's a shame that it didn't do as well, because I believe it's underrated, like very
Yeah.
much so.
What really set the movie off too is if we would have got at least one fucking scene of Sylvester Stallone in Terminator 2.
Yeah,
Like just
Yes.
one
just
fucking
like
scene.
just a bit of a
Agreed.
scene of him on
Oh
the
my
TV.
god.
This
in the
motherfucker
video
can get
store.
Little
I'll take
Richard,
one of
Van
these.
Damme, his wife, Jim Belushi. Like, he's all these fucking people in this movie. You can't get Sylvester Stallone to do anything more than
Yeah, I love the
I
little
love
joke
my
where he's like,
image.
he's a great actor.
this is
Yeah.
his greatest performance. I'm a normal American average guy. I
close.
understand.
Take him off.
So here's what's crazy. Me, Jelani, Brooks, we have to be here. But when people sign up for these movies, I'm always curious why and what did you think? Stu, you signed up for this movie. You said
Yeah.
Last Action Hero. I want to fucking be here. What do you think about this movie? What's your history with it?
Dude, so it like you, it got buried under the Jurassic Park avalanche for me as a kid. You know what I mean? Like 1 week before and all that. But I saw it a couple years after that like I remember a friend's house for a sleepover, and I loved it. Like, and so it's always had and I don't think I've rewatched it since that time in the late 90s. Like 95, 96, I want to say is the first time I watched it. But man, this was incredible to rewatch. I think it's at its best when it sticks to that satire, and I guess the original script they kind of had pinned for it, where it was poking fun at all the action movie tropes. But yeah,
the original
definitely-
title, by the way, Stu, was Extremely Violent Movie, which sounds like Scary Movie, not another teen movie. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, definitely. Like, 93 is crazy because that's like a year removed from Terminator, and it's just way too soon for like what it was trying to do and accomplish and really say and get across. But man, it was so much fun. I like this was one I really enjoyed because I found myself laughing so much through the rewatch. Man, it was so many great elements of comedy throughout. I agree with you, dude. It's way too long. They should have brought on the second act way sooner. I feel like the second act is where the movie really got to shine and have some of its best parts. But it's definitely with its flaws. But regardless, dude, this was such a great rewatch. It's literally been decades for me. So, like you said, definitely feeling the age with this one. But man, yeah, I love the rewatch, and yeah, happy to be on the panel tonight, man.
We're all young, fun, wild, and crazy guys here on the panel. You know what I'm saying? Like we weren't alive when this movie came out. Don't worry about it, guys.
No,
Anyway,
exactly, yeah.
no, I love that you mentioned this is a movie that had you rolling, that had you laughing, right? Like,
Yeah.
dude, the funniest thing, the most out loud laugh I've done this year watching a movie, whether it was new or old, was the fucking Hamlet trailer. Where he's like,
Oh my
dude, it's the
God.
moment where he's like, to be
Something's
or not
rotten.
to be. Not to be. And it just blows up behind him. This is so stupid.
Look,
It's great.
something's rotten in the state of Denmark, and Hamlet's taking out the trash. Like, that shit was beautiful, dude.
Dude, it's like, you got to tell me Tropic Thunder's got some influence from this movie,
Come on,
right?
man.
Like
So good.
100%, man. 100%, dude. And I thought that was the most I laughed in a movie this year was Tropic Thunder. But man, that Hamlet bit got me. I really wish instead of this movie, we got a Hamlet action movie starring Arnold
Right?
Schwarzenegger, directed by John McTiernan. That would have been fucking amazing,
Oh my
dude.
God.
To be or not to be. Not to be. It's just so stupid, dude. I fucking love it.
So good. Yeah.
What about you, Jelani? What'd you think about Last Action Hero? What's your history with it?
Yeah, going back, I saw it in the movie theater as well. In fact, I watched Jurassic Park and Last Action Hero the same day. My cousin took me to watch Last Action Hero first, and I was like, "But there's Jurassic Park," and I hadn't watched it the week before, and I was super excited to watch both. And my cousin was like, "All right, we'll watch it. Go ahead, let's do it." So we double featured it, man, and like I was a raptor the rest of the day. I pretty much walked around like a freaking raptor all day. That's how much of a kid I was. I'm not ashamed of it. I will do it again. It was
He still does it
yeah,
all the time for no reason.
Just wrapped her out like I walk around. My legs are all hunched. It's good.
Don't
times.
let me catch you in the electrical room, bitch.
Yeah. Yes. But I wasn't disappointed with Last Action Hero. It's an okay movie to me, and like I have nostalgia with it because I watched it before I watched Jurassic Park. That's the biggest thing in my life that I remember. I love the characters in this film, except for the kid. The kid bothers me on levels. Like
There's a reason for that.
I didn't like him as a kid then, and I still don't like him as a kid now. Like he's so oh my gosh, the movie. Oh, I have my
The reason you don't
movie
like him is
ticket.
because he's like a mirror of what you were like as a kid.
He's just a
Like,
shitbag. I don't know what it is. He's a freaking nutbag, and he's like
The crazy thing is that Anthony Quinn is still a kid today. He never aged after
he
this
never
movie.
changed after this movie. He always looks.
You
the
tell
same.
me you don't love him in My Girl Part 2? Get the fuck out of here.
Oh God, no.
My Girl
Jesus.
Part 2 sucks, by the way.
It's
Okay,
like
just
it-
Damn, I didn't even know they made a
It
sequel.
has no
That's
bees.
heartbreaking.
It has no bees.
he needs his glasses to see.
God, Jesus. But
Wait, the day we do My Girl, that's the last PCP movie night we ever
Bro,
do. It's got to
I'll
be
cry.
My Girl, right?
Cry like a bitch. I cry
But
like a
like-
bitch.
That's
in
why
the theater.
Ragnarok is my girl.
yeah, it's one of these films where I mean, it's Shane Black, and you expect a certain kind of pithiness and things with Shane Black.
It should have been
Um,
set during Christmas, man.
Yeah, it was. They said it in the movie.
Oh, fuck,
that
it
was
is set
Christmas.
during Christmas.
It's
Jesus
set
There's
during
Christ.
there's like a little joke.
They
there.
just didn't show any Christmas stuff.
Right around
That's
Christmas
the other
time.
weird thing. And like, of course, the tons of cameos. Like the one that throws me off is like Tina Turner randomly.
You never see her again, bro.
Dude, I feel like that
camera.
aligns with Robbie's Coke party theory. Like he just found these people.
We're just bringing people in.
Hey,
to a Coke
fucking, you
party.
want to be the mayor? Like, come on in. Real quick.
Yeah. It's one of these films where I remember the explosions. I remember all the action involved. I remember the body on the crane, all the tar pit, all the cool little funny things in this movie. And I'm thinking it may have been a little too much. Like, I think it was a good action movie, but I think it was overkill. Like, they really just wanted to get stuff in there. They wanted to put elements in and do stuff and make this film. Now, trust me, I love action movies. It's my favorite genre. I mean, I'm not a horror maybe yours, Robbie, but you know I love action. I love my.
I know. At least we give 1 month to action movies for you.
Yeah, exactly. And it's way shorter than Horror Fest, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But
Horror Fest is 2.5 months long this year. It's so great.
It's wild.
It starts August 19th, brother.
wild.
Like, it's so stupid.
But okay.
Horror Fest is about to start in March. Like, you just wait and see.
You're just
That's
gonna
cool
half
sometimes.
a year. We're just gonna talk about horror movies, but I mean it's fine. But this was a great movie, I think, in certain ways. At the same time, it's an okay movie for me. I'm not really like I like it, but I'm not gonna go this far and say it's like my favorite action movie. It's not gonna change. It's not gonna change my life. I do remember a lot from it. I do remember that I enjoyed it as a kid, but it wasn't that movie. It wasn't that movie. More of
an action
it's
movie
not
than
like
like
a Weapon, or a Die Hard, or this just wasn't that movie for me. It's fine though, and like I said, Arnold Schwarzenegger plays a great like foil to himself. That whole thing, I don't like you and all that stuff, and he's trying to sell Planet Hollywood. He's got Maria Shriver there at the premiere. All that stuff, like I said, I think they did too much. I think it was a little too much to explain it. And then the last thing I want to say is, and we're gonna go to favorite characters, but I'm skipping. I've got my favorite character. I already know who it is, and I know I'm gonna miss it. So I'm just gonna. I'll save it for later. I'll just save it for later. But
yeah, save it for later, man.
I'll save it for later. That's it. I like.
All right. I'm going to say this. I was just looking on eBay real quick because there were Last Action Hero action figures, and I got a Terminator 2 action figure collection back there, but I don't have any Last Action Hero action figures. I just looked it up. The just regular generic Jack Slater action figure is like $20 plus $10 shipping. $30 super chats, y'all. Let's get it. Can we get $30 in super chats tonight so I can get a Last Action Hero movie action figure? Let's fucking do it. Steph, not only did you choose to be here, you chose to be here on your fucking birthday. You should be out getting blowjobs from anybody that you want. You know what I'm saying? But instead, you're here talking about Last Action Hero. Tell us what you think about this movie. What's your history with it?
I love it. This is like a Street Fighter for me. It's like I can acknowledge its flaws, but it's still a 5 for me. Like I'm gonna watch it and enjoy every shitty minute of it. I didn't see this one in theaters, but I saw it shortly after. I was still 4 when this came out, so I probably saw this like when I was like 5 or 6. But
that makes us feel older, by the way. I know you're trying to help out, but that makes us feel older.
Appreciate it.
But to the Last Action Hero figure, I did have that. I had the Arnold. That's the only one I had. But I didn't have a Colossus at the time, right? So my Arnold Last Action Hero was a stand-in for Colossus when I used to have my X-Men battles and shit. So because he was like really jacked and shit, and he kind of at the time I imagine that's what like a Russian or Colossus might have
got the same
like.
fucking haircut and shit, dude.
Yeah, hell yeah. He just couldn't metal
dude,
up.
that's a great one, actually. I can't believe I never did that. Like use my T2 action figure as my Colossus, not in mutant form, right? Because I did do that with my Hulk Hogan action figure. He was my Eddie Brock for years for some reason, but now I guess we should say fuck Hulk Hogan. But whatever. I'm sorry, moving on.
Fuck that guy.
I love this movie.
Sorry.
No. I just think it's a great. Watching this made me think of the Die Hard conversation last week, and I remember when Vernal had brought up that like the MCU had borrowed a lot off of Die Hard. I would one up that and say that this movie influenced the MCU's flavor significantly. You know, I don't know. As a kid, it really appealed to me because, you know, this is coming like maybe a year after the X-Men cartoons come out when I seen this. So, you know, that whole idea of like you have a ticket that can take you to another world that's movies. I was like, shit, let me get my ticket so I can go to the X-Men, you know? But so it was like this magicalness to it. I agree with you, Robbie. I think it's one of Arnold's best performances. I think this is when he kind of got like, this is like the first time he got to do everything, you know? Like he did the comedy and like Twins and shit like that, been doing the action hero stuff, but this time he got to show like he's very versatile. To The Rock, that's something I can't ever really take The Rock seriously. Like I can watch him, he's badass in action movies, but I don't, you know, Arnold's had some moments where I can really take him serious as a dramatic actor. I've not seen that from Dwayne Johnson yet. Not saying he's not capable, but Arnold does have that one over him.
My favorite performance from Dwayne right now is Southland Tales, but that's just because I'm a huge fan of that movie.
I gotta rewatch that one. I know that's Donnie.
You gotta read the comic first too, though, Steph.
It's a lot of work, man.
Okay.
It's a lot of homework.
It's a lot of work. You gotta read the comic book. You gotta watch the movie.
It's an investment. The kid, he's not that bad. You know, if you've ever seen a show called Even Stevens, there's a dude called Beans on there, and he was a terrible, obnoxious, annoying kid. He still kind of looks the same, and it gives you those vibes every time you want to see him. Like,
the sister was hot.
But
that's all.
no, I'm serious. Go look at B Bacon. I fucking hate
crazy.
By the way,
But no, this
earlier I said Anthony Quinn was the kid. It was Austin O'Brien, whose famous role is Lawnmower Man Part 2. That's a great fucking movie, right?
Interesting.
Man.
But no, I think this is a great film. I think they just had the unfortunate, you know, it's just sometimes wrong place, wrong time, and that was this movie. I think it's definitely aged and it's been more appreciated over the years than it was when it first came out. But yeah, this is one of my favorite. You know, when they would show this on like TBS or TNT back in the day, or UPN on the Sunday, this is like a movie. If I catch it on TV, I'm always gonna watch it. You know, it's like as shitty some of the moments are, I have a lot of fun with it. And it's, you know, from '93, this is a very meta movie. Like I think I look at this as more of a satire than an action movie, and in that aspect, you know, the way some of the action scenes are corny and the way they play out, like that's intentional. I think they're meant to be that way. So I think that the movie excels in that aspect. Like it's making fun of the quips, the one-liners, you know, the coincidences that happen in these action movies, even comic books. But yeah, I think it's still a gem, and I think it gets better with age.
I tell you what, speaking of better with age, no phrase spoken tonight makes people on the panel feel as old as you saying UPN on a Sunday back in the 90s.
They used to put on.
There's some people watching this stream right now going, "What the fuck is UPN?"
What crap is UPN?
All right, let's get to the cast of this movie. And you know what, guys? I'm so sorry. I've been so nice. Since Days of Thunder, I've let everybody go first. I'm going first this fucking time because I don't want anybody to steal this, because my by far favorite fucking performance is Charles Dance. Charles Dance as the villain in this fucking movie is great. That scene where he goes into the real world and he goes, like, you can help me with an experiment or whatever. He shoots that guy. He goes, I just shot somebody on purpose. And like, it's just nobody shows up. Like, everything he does cracks me the fuck up. His eye. And here's the thing. When I watched this movie the first time, Game of Thrones ain't happened yet.
Right.
As much as even at this time, I loved Alien 3. I didn't make the connection. It was the dude from Alien 3. But the more I watch these movies like Alien 3 and Last Action Hero, the more I think Charles Dance is absolutely a brilliant actor. And there's nobody better to play Tywin Lannister, to die shitting on the fucking commode. But I think he just soars in this movie. And I think he is by far, to me, the best performance. What about you, Eric? What's a performance you want to highlight?
Oh, well, since you took the very best one here, let's see. There's a couple different I could pick from. I'm gonna go against Jelani here. I'm gonna say that Danny Madigan
Goddamn.
was
kid.
actually really awesome in this.
Fucking piece
Like,
of shit.
not even kidding. Austin O'Brien, there's a lot of pretentious little kids in movies, like throughout the history of movies. He doesn't fit the bill, man. Like, he is
Yeah,
a little bit over the top,
He's
but
solid, man.
but he's
Agreed.
pretty good. He's
He
solid.
doesn't
Yeah.
suck. He doesn't suck.
No,
I will
he-
say
Yeah.
He
I'll say
plays off of Arnold really, really well. He plays against him perfectly. And you know what? You mentioned Lawnmower Man 2. He made his cinematic feature in Lawnmower Man 1. He crawled in Lawnmower Man 1 so that he could run in Last Action Hero. He's the best performer in this.
I think
Well
you're just
done,
doing
bro.
this
Well
like-
done. Delaney said, "Jesus Christ."
That's what happens when I pick Charles Dance first. All right. What
Yeah,
about you, Brooks? What you got?
I really love the cartoon cat. Like, it's
That was my
just, like,
second
such a
choice.
weird thing.
Danny
for them to
fucking
throw into this
DeVito,
movie.
man.
Danny DeVito.
Like that, and it's
Twins.
Danny DeVito's voice too. And like, I love that. In the beginning, he's like slapping the girl's ass and shit. He's kind of being like he's kind of a dickish character. He's more like an adult kind of cartoon, like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit type, I guess. But yeah, and I love it when he comes back in and just saves a day out of nowhere, and Arnold's just like, I knew you'd come.
I knew
It's
you'd be
just-
here because we're just average American guys. We like to play cards
like,
with Jack
yes,
over at
Yeah,
the.
Lou.
I'm blue
cartoon just
collar.
walked
I
in the
can't
door.
make my rent.
By the way, I'm totally keeping tally of how many people and how many times we do Arnold impressions, just so you guys know. So
We
looks
do
like
an
there's a
Arnold
bomb in
movie.
there.
We do an Arnold movie
Down.
every year for a reason, man.
Yeah.
It's not an action fest without Arnold. I'm glad you mentioned him. I like to call him MC Cool Cat 2.0.
McGruff the cat.
McGruff the cat. No, I do love it. Here's the thing, though. Here's the fucking thing. Are they, when he goes into this movie, is he in a mysterious movie world? Or is he in Jack Slater movies? Because I don't know what Jack Slater fucking movie has the cat sidekick, right? But I love the sidekick bit when they're like, well, we got the fucking, like, they're trying to team up detectives,
Yeah.
based on like a buddy cop movie or some shit like that. Cracks me the
The
fuck up.
digitized Humphrey Bogart or whatever.
No
That was-
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's before they had Tupac showing up at Coachella. What about you, Stu? What do you think about best performance in the movie or one you want to highlight?
All right. So many great choices already. You guys have done a great. I was gonna go with Charles Dance for sure as my number
I knew
one.
all y'all were gonna go with that.
Dude,
That's
but I'll
why
go
I
with-
had to take it.
I'll go with Tom Noonan as the Ripper, dude. I love
Yes.
the start to this movie. I loved his makeup and like the way he looked and just the acts and his whole aesthetic or whatever. And I love that mix up there at the premiere when he showed up in real
You
life
got it,
and,
right.
and
They're
also
like,
as
what are
the
you gonna
Ripper.
do
Yeah.
tonight? And they're like, I
And
think I'm
that
gonna
was
kill
dope that like
somebody.
Charles Dance went and got him as the what's his name is the villain. Charles Dance's name.
He kind of looked like Ian McKellen a little bit from like certain profiles. I thought it was Ian McKellen at first.
Which
Like,
is funny
when
'cause
they
Ian
showed him,
McKellen's in
looking
the
from
movie.
side.
Yeah, dude.
Yes, he is. He's dead.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, but
Charles Dance
definitely-
is Mr. Benedict, by the way.
Mr. Benedict, yeah, but definitely Tom Noonan for me, dude. I just love the theme that's set and like how he came back into and play in the second act.
I love Tom Noonan for so many reasons. Right? Manhunter is a big reason. Right? He's great in Manhunter. But the number one reason why I love Tom Noonan is the Frankenstein monster performance from the Monster Squad. His performance there is so fucking brilliant. He's so good. And this is the only time we ever actually got to see him in person. I love that he shows up as himself too, and it's just such a great character. And the problem is, here's the biggest problem to me with that character in this movie. Who is your main villain? Right? Like, obviously it's Charles Dance, right? You know what I'm saying? It's Mr. Benedict, but like, dude, there was so much threat there. And like, that's diving deeper than most action films actually dived at that moment, right? They didn't usually kill the hero's kid in part 3. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, this is pretty fucking, it's dark. This movie
It
can be
is.
dark at times. 100%.
And it's
No,
I love that. I love the red carpet question too. It's like, well, what are you doing here tonight? I'm here to kill somebody.
I think I'm here to
just-
kill somebody.
Yo, I always wanted a solo
Just
movie
put up.
with the Ripper. Like he has such a cool look, you know, even though it's
Oh,
very
yeah.
brief.
Dude, that scene alone made me want to watch, like, legit just watch a Jack Slater movie, like, just to
Yeah,
see what
yep.
happened.
Yeah, no shit. So, by the way, there's also a Tom Noonan fucking action figure from the Last Action Hero line. So $30 tonight, we can get the Arnold figure, but like if we can do like $60, we can
We're
get
working on the Build-A-Figure,
fucking Tom
guys.
Noonan
Yeah.
figure. Oh, they didn't even know what Build-A-Figures back in the day. Could you imagine if they knew what Build-A-Figures were back in the fucking day? That'd be terrible. 100%. They would have ruined us as children. What about you, Jelani? What's a performance you want to highlight? The kid's already been taken.
No shit. Also, Charles Dance. Yeah. Charles Dance. I'm going to choose him again because he's fucking awesome. He's the best part of this movie. That man is absolutely, I mean, like he's a national treasure, even though he's like English. He's absolutely great in this film. That man transcends evil to a level I never thought possible. Now, Tim Noonan did a great job being evil as well, but like Mr. Benedict takes it to another level. But since Robbie took him, god dang it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Anyway.
okay. It's my show, bro. It's all
I'll
right.
cry when you get in the car.
Can't always
I'm
get
gonna-
what you want.
I'm gonna pick the police chief.
Slater! Slater! My Hershey Highway is filled with complaints right now.
Yeah.
I don't care about your Hershey Highway, and I'm not deaf.
Yeah, he was losing his mind. Like, do you even know what he's saying? Nobody knows what he's saying. He's like,
Dude, if this panel tonight
the best
remade
part.
this movie, you would be that character, Jelani. You know that,
yeah,
right?
I'd be mad as hell. I'd be mad as hell at Jack Slater because he fucked something up and ruined property damage. Done property damage. He'd ruined it. I love that character and like the whole story with the kid remembers the story from the movie where he hid him from his wife. I don't know. He took his wife away from something. I forgot what the story was. Like he saved him like public embarrassment because of it. I was like, oh damn, dude. I felt bad for him. I was like, oh my, I thought you didn't tell anybody. It's like I
Sounds like a
did.
Lethal Weapon bit.
Yeah, it was just he was so
Yeah.
funny. He was like, I'm the comic relief. And then even at the end, like Arnold's like, tell him, shut up. He's like, we're going to do good things now. We're going to be better.
I'm going to be a painter now.
Chase the bad guys. At the end. And I was like, yeah, this is the dude that was like, now he's the sounding board. So like the roles reversed. It was cute. And I think Shane Black probably wrote most of his lines. I just feel that that's probably what happened. But yeah, I enjoyed him. I don't know his name, but he's pretty cool. But Charles Dance steals the show. I don't give a crap.
That is Frank McRae as Lieutenant Decker.
Okay. Hey, Frank McRae. Thanks, dude.
Yep.
That was awesome. Plus, special shout out to Art Carney. Art Carney should have been in this movie longer. The second cousin.
Was this his last fucking movie performance, I think? Actually.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was.
God dang it. And he dies. And he gets
Yeah.
his house blowed up. Jesus.
It's as bad as seeing Q in World Is Not Enough. You're like, what? Or what was it? Tomorrow Never Dies? I don't remember which one it was, but the last performance you see of Q when he goes down
Yeah.
into the fucking, I think that's World Is Not Enough, an
World's
undersung, underappreciated James Bond film, in my opinion.
Answer.
All right.
Was that
That's
the
a
one
good
right
pick,
before
Jelani.
Yeah.
With
What's
Tyler
that?
Berry? Was that the one?
No,
No,
that's
no,
how you
no.
know that nobody
not
would
the day.
ever say that that's the
Fucking
best
Tyler
James
Perry.
Bond movie. Come on, man. Get
No.
fucking-
I was that the one that Q was in the last one. It was that the one at Roland right before.
I
the
think
Halle
it's
Berry.
World Is Not Enough. The one
World's
that
Not
Garbage
Enough.
did the score for, that
Okay.
Robert Carlyle
John
was
Cleese
one of the
took
villains
over.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Cleese took
Okay.
over as Q.
Yeah, I love that fucking movie just because the Bond girl is also the Bond villain. Only movie they did that, man.
Yep.
Pretty fucking dope, in my opinion. What about you, Steph? What's a performance you want to highlight? And you're running slim.
Damn, that's easy. I mean, it's easy, but I'm gonna go with Schwarzenegger. I feel like the first movie, he got to really like just deliver it all. It's almost debatable to say we wouldn't have gotten True Lies had he not gotten this movie. This was
True.
a test for him to do True Lies. And shout out to Ian McKellen. When Stu said death earlier, I thought he was talking about Ian McKellen. I was like, oh, that wasn't Ian McKellen because it kind of looked like him, but I wasn't sure. But yes, Ian McKellen, the few seconds he was on screen in his death, I thought was brilliant. I love the whole thing.
That ticket.
Bro, that
Yeah.
surprised the fuck out of me. Like, I
Same.
didn't
Yeah.
know who Ian McKellen was in 1993.
No one did. He just looked
You
like
got
death, though. He looked just like death.
Yeah.
He's
I,
scary.
you know, and then I'm sure he had done other shit since then, but him being cast as Magneto, like you can see the calm, coolness, collectedness that
Yeah,
he
man.
that he would later.
He probably got the
exemplify.
part because of that movie. That's how wild that is. Bryan Singer just
But
saw
yeah.
it, being
Half
weird.
people-
I'm
was
sure
after
Bryan
this
Singer
movie.
also chose him for other reasons, but we won't get into
Yeah.
that. But I will say that
Too old. Oh, oops. Oops.
Ian
will say-
McKellen is a goddamn treasure, national treasure, even though he's British. He's a national
yeah.
fucking treasure. And I don't give a shit about what anybody thinks of Bryan Singer. And he is a piece of shit, but he made some good
Yeah,
movies.
Bryan-
But Ian McKellen is a fucking golden treasure in our
Yes.
fucking culture.
You show must pass.
We love
I'm
what
so
you've
shocked.
done with your hair.
I'm shocked that like none of us decided to answer the question though. What's the best way to get to Carnegie Hall?
Right.
Practice. Nobody's
That's
gonna pick F. Murray
No,
Abraham.
He didn't ever
Nobody?
said nobody.
He's barely in the fucking movie.
He is.
Why
And
you
he's
even cast this
barely.
motherfucker? Like, it's
And
so
he's-
crazy. He's barely in there. Like, and I forget that he's in there. Even now, I'm like, you're right.
Whiskers
He's in the
kills him.
fucking movie.
Yeah.
He's got to be the cliche friend who is the traitor.
The
But
Right.
when he
betrayer.
does
Yeah.
that
Exactly.
turn, man, when he
Killed
it's so
Mozart.
smooth.
Is this Mozart? Who is Mozart? Like, the guy in
I
the
think
movie.
I do like it. I think I will.
Classical music.
I don't know if you guys watched it with subtitles as well, but they actually split it out to say, "Is that Mo M-O-E Zart?"
Zart. Yes, I did.
Yeah,
I did.
yeah,
I
I
did watch
saw
it with
that. I saw
subtitles.
that.
I'm on it.
It's like, who's Mo?
Yeah.
Is it Mo? Anyway, I'm an average American guy. I like the Three Stooges. I like to go to Culver's and get the frozen custard. Anyway, so
Culver's.
this all goes into the fucking. There's a bit that Tom Scioli does when they did the Predator movie review, and they were talking about how ridiculous it is that Arnold's always playing like a middle American blue collar like worker, and it's like, who are you fooling, dude? I'm a normal American guy. It's just
Just
so
an average Joe.
Yeah, I'm just an average Joe. I cannot make my mortgage.
Get this Turbo Man doll.
I got beat up by mall Santas.
Ooh, Schwein, Brian Schwein.
I just the
Sinbad was a
ridiculousness
menace.
of Hollywood to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger's a normal fucking American, like blue collar, middle Western, like fucking get the fuck out of here, dude. I whatever. I'm done because the longer I do it, the more I lose the accent. So we just don't want to fuck with it too much. Style instruction.
You should never lose it.
Our favorite bit is this. Like, what's a conversation like between Arnold and Sly?
Hey, Arnold, thanks for giving me all that stuff in my Mama Will Shoot movie. It was really fun. I love the spaghetti,
All right, style and structure. Style, the movie's fine. The movie's great. It is filmed like an action movie, right? And what I love about the style of this film is that the bits where they're in the world of Jack Slater, it's bright, it's sunny, it's LA. When he goes to the real world, it's dark, it's dank and damp, and it's New York, right? And there's a big distinction there, but I do think that the movie struggles with the tonal clash. It's really good at being this parody meta comedy. And it's also really good at times being this action movie. But it doesn't balance them perfectly for me. Now, I'm not saying it has to. I'm just saying it doesn't. And it runs a bit too long. And it gets a little draggy towards, to me, the middle of the second act. It kind of, and I think maybe you're right. Was you that said it? You should get to the second act faster. Maybe it was Stu. Somebody said that tonight.
Yeah, Stu.
Get to the second act faster. And maybe we can actually get it going. Because they spend way too much time with this golden ticket bullshit. This ain't Willy Wonka. Willy Wonka didn't give us the explanation that we got in this. Harry fucking Houdini showed up and gave me this fucking ticket. It's bullshit. All we need to know, especially as kids in 1993, oh, it's a magic ticket. We're sold. We don't need any other explanation, right? So I think it runs long. I think that it has some tonal clash. This should have leaned more into one or the other or tried to balance it better in some kind of way. But I do think it's good. But I do think that its biggest struggle is with the structure. Style, though, to me, is rocking on. And there are some great set pieces in this movie, some great shots when they're like fucking leaping over the highway, the car, right? And the camera angle, the way like it looks like it's floating there. I don't know how they did that. Like if it's on a crane or some shit. There's some really, really great shots in this fucking movie, but it could have been balanced a little bit better for me. What about you, Eric? Style and structure, what do you think?
I think it's fantastic. And like reading up on the movie too, and considering that like when Zach Penn was writing this, they kind of had the intention of like someone like a Robert Zemeckis directing it. That would have totally
or John
made it,
Landis.
Or John Landis, yeah. Totally
John
different
Landis
type of movie. Somebody would have
Yeah.
died on set if John Landis would. That's a totally different story.
He's like,
yeah.
I'm never working with helicopters again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no kidding. But I think that John McTiernan coming in to direct this movie was probably the best thing that could have happened. Because if you do two things to this, if you cut out the creepy projectionist from the beginning and slim that up, just give him the ticket, get him in the movie, and you cut out the whole fart scene. I think that's the biggest part where the second act struggles. If you get rid of that stuff, it becomes a much tighter movie, much more concise. But overall, like it's got just the right pieces of a Shane Black movie. It's got just the right pieces of a John McTiernan movie. It still feels Arnold, especially in that era, because like we all talked about before, it's got the comedic, it's got the action, it's got the drama. It's like so close to really being, dare I say, like a perfect movie for that like era of Arnold. Like it's so close.
So close, right? And like we like what a couple years ago we did True Lies here on PCP Movie Night for ActionFest. And we said this is the last 80s action movie. Well, this should have been the last 80s action movie, right? Like the deconstruction of it. Like this was it, but like it just didn't work at the time. Jurassic Park swallowed it up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they were really dumb. And in fact, they did the tar pit scene because they knew the Jurassic Park was going to be following them or right before them. And so like there's even a bit in the behind the scenes features where Arnold goes, we're shooting at the tar pits with the dinosaurs because we got to own Jurassic Park. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to own Jurassic Park here. That movie didn't even come out. And that movie was Jurassic Park is one of the best movies.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
It's unfair to
how
compare.
Did you not know? How did you not know you were about to get steamrolled? Like it's just crazy to me. Like
because of Hook,
really
man. That's why they were like, "Well, Hook."
Come on, no. Like we all, I don't know.
Well, and here's
Hook
the other
Hook,
thing, though.
But like
too,
everybody knew Jurassic Park was going to be a smash.
Oh yeah. But think about all the other types of movies that kind of like revolve around this, right? Like you talk about like scary movies or like any of the other spoofs and parodies and stuff. Look at any scene in those and it's very generic and it's very much like, they're riffing off of what the original was, but like, I can't think of a better word, but like this brings a little bit more nuance for the type of movie that it is. Like it feels actiony in all the ways that you would expect it to be. It's not just like some static shot where they're just trying to recreate something. It brings something more to the table.
Yeah. I've heard people say even McTiernan and Black themselves say that this was a misstep. Maybe they shouldn't have done it. And Zach Penn even said, it's hard to do a parody of a movie franchise or a movie genre with the people that helped cement those tropes, right? And I can dig that for a little bit. But Zach Penn's original idea and script with his partner at the time was a demon getting this kid to go into this movie thinking he was trying to corrupt this kid's fucking soul. That's stupid as fuck, y'all. Yeah. If this involved a demon trying to manipulate this kid, it'd been crazy. Speaking of manipulation by demons, Brooks, what do you think about the style and structure of this film?
Well, I mean, I like the style of this movie because it is very action movie. Like that's kind of the whole point. But it's kind of like it is more than that as well, because it is like kind of a drama in a way, like in the beginning, like you see this kid, he's like it's kind of hinted at, maybe he's not he's not as into school as he should be. You know, he's like skipping classes to watch movies. He has a single mother, and you know, he has like when he goes out, he has to like, you know, make sure somebody isn't coming down his hallway so he doesn't get mugged. And like, you know, the reason I think this movie is as long as it is because they have to like, you know, show kind of two sides of the real world with the kid and like, you know, the ridiculous movie world with Arnold and Jack Slater. And, you know, it does seem to drag a little bit at the end. I think why I think it feels like it drags a little bit at the end for me is because they do so much so early on. And like, because they did the Jack Slater world part first, and then he comes into the real world, like all the Jack Slater stuff, like all the ridiculous stuff, like it just kind of like, it burns you out a little bit, I think. And like, you know, coming into the real world, it's a little bit of a come down, like, you know, things get a little more dramatic, you know, there's more consequences. But I think like both parts have like their parts that I really like. Like I love him like, you know, talking to the kid's mom's like, I talked to a woman. It was great. I'd never done it before.
You're turning him into
and like, you know, everything in like the.
Did you mark that down, Eric?
I got it. We're up to 12.
How did he have a daughter though? Like I was,
dude. By the way, somebody mentioned this in the chat. His daughter is super fucking hot. She's the chick from Billy Madison. Is that not the chick that played? Is that not the chick that played Sonya in Mortal Kombat?
That was Sonya.
Immediately, yeah.
Eric Pete Sampras,
Bro.
the tennis star.
Do you guys watch Hero? Oh, okay.
Such a dime.
Heroes?
Yeah, like
I see Heroes.
Ellie Lauder was in Heroes.
Oh,
I think you're thinking of Ali Larder.
Okay.
That was
Yeah.
Ellie Lauder.
That's her second cousin, probably. I don't know. Ali Larder played like 3 or 4 different characters in Heroes because they didn't know what the fuck they were doing
They
the
were all
entire
trash.
time.
Fucking Heroes. Fucking Heroes.
She had the worst storyline in the first season.
We mentioned Lost and Heroes for disappointing shows.
20-year-old shows, everybody.
Oh,
Let's
boy.
go.
20-year-old shows. Jesus.
Jesus Christ. We might as well be talking about the Dick Van Dyke show tonight. Speaking of Dick Van Dyke, Stu's really good at a sexual trick he likes to do called the Dick Van Dyke.
Sure.
We can't
Dude,
show it.
do
here
I,
tonight.
like, all right. Thanks for that transition.
We'll get
Robbie.
further deep
Dude,
on
what's
that.
your style and structure?
You're
What do you
both
think?
sticking your finger somewhere.
I love this movie's style and structure. I think it's like I said before, I think the second act for me is where it really shines. I love seeing Arnold kind of get vulnerable and human, realizing that, like, you know, he's a fictional creation, and that part, and also you know, Charles Dance's embrace of like the villain in a New York City that's still trying to right itself and get on its feet. Like, I thought that was the most intriguing part of the movie for me. I really thought they should have explored that more. But regardless, man, I was never bored watching this. I was always into it from one scene to the next. Like, some scenes did lag and some were kind of eye rolly, but regardless, I think it did a good job of keeping you hooked and like into it. And you know, you were always waiting to see what was next to it. And you were definitely, I was definitely invested in both of these main characters' arcs, both the boy and Arnold. So I love the style and structure. I thought they did an excellent job of I thought they could have, like he said, they could have spent, and Robbie said, they could have spent more time in certain areas and, you know, cut some things out. But regardless, I thought they did a great job.
All right. They should have had more of the fucking daughter. I'll tell you that, dude. That's what they should have had. Also, I love
her fight scene.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I love the fucking blockbuster scene where every woman's up there wearing like some kind of futuristic fucking outfit. Like all the women in the fucking. Like,
Angie Everhart
Every
was the
woman in this
cashier.
world is hot.
Yeah.
Angie Everhart was the cashier. That was Sylvester Stallone's ex-wife. I think she was his wife at the time of the movie.
Shit, dude. Arnold's wife at the time's in the fucking movie.
Yeah,
right. Like I love that shit too. It's like, it's so lame when you fucking plug the fucking restaurant on
There's
the red
so
carpet.
many people. There's so many people in this movie.
We got lots of great memorabilia at Planet Hollywood.
Like,
I told you about that shit.
Sorry, my only Arnold impression is him just gargling. It's the best.
Jelani's really good at gargling.
Go.
Yeah.
I do
Anyway.
gargle a lot.
Anyway, Delaney, gargle about what you think about the style and structure, please.
I thought it was great. It was great. You know, the pings and the pictures and the sound and the way it looks and the greasiness. I loved it. It's fine. I mean, it does run a little long. It's a little too long. Yeah, you should have taken the projectionist guy out. I keep forgetting his name too. You're right, Eric, on that part. He's I don't know. Yeah, I could have made Greta Garbo.
That dude's creepy.
I'm a ticket. I don't give a crap what you did. First of all, that kid drove in the ambulance through your freaking theater. That was my first problem. And he was just, this is the worst part. He was rolling with everything that was going on. He's like, Jack Slater can't have a movie? Sure. Ambulance comes through my doors? Sure. Let me get the film ready. Even though they're gonna probably tear my place down now. I can't afford to like fix this. You what does Tiger King say? Tiger King, I'll never financially recover from this.
Bro, one part that baffled me was like the kid's he's a latchkey kid, he's home alone, he gets robbed like at knife point by this dude, handcuffed to the bathroom sink, right? Like gets out of that situation, out of the police station, goes immediately to the movie theater, and this motherfucker gonna answer the door like he's like annoyed to see him because he's late. Like, bro, he just came through an armed robbery in the rain to see your little dinky ass movie after midnight. Like, just like that.
Dude, that's because he's the real villain of this movie, though. You don't go inviting a preteen to a movie theater that is empty at midnight. You're going to
his mom's okay with it.
Exactly
his mom's okay with it, and he goes to school, and I'm like, oh no, none of this should be happening. Yeah, he should be in jail. Yeah, we don't think that way though, in the 90s. We don't think that way in the 80s, for that matter. So I kind of get it. On top of that, the guy is, I don't know. It's just he's one of those people that shouldn't be around other people anyway. Like, I know why your theater's not doing well. I think I have an idea. Like, you have restrooms spray painted on the walls of the place. And the other thing I was going to mention too, the freaking the robbery. I think when Jack Slater came over, I think he should have bumped into that guy and done something to him. You're like, this is the guy that robbed me, or something like that. And like, it just actually happened. Like, he kicks his ass.
But then the movie would have been 2 hours and 45 minutes long, Julian.
No, cut out that other crap. Cut the other crap out. I mean, it had the robbery, but the robbery was pointless. It was absolutely.
It really was. It really was.
And I was like, oh, okay, fine. He got robbed. And because if you're gonna make a robbery, you make the robbery like, I don't know, a pivotal point of this movie. Like, he's not willing to stand up for himself or something. I don't know. And the other part that makes me mad, the freaking crane scene. Like, he's got the crane. Like, I ain't no crane operator. I'm just letting you know. I'm not licensed as a crane operator. But this fucking child is able to not only learn how to move a crane, able to move the crane the right way so that he can get it moved over to save Jack Slater's life.
Bro, there's 4 controls. Anybody that knew how to play the NES knows how to do that.
You see where the crane goes.
They're in the
I love it when like 5 people talk at the same time. Or they're all like, wait, what do you fucking mean?
Owns up. He's like, I'm not a crane operator. And then 4 people are like, guess what? I am, motherfucker.
I'm a crane operator.
I got 75 years.
I've played the fucking crane game at the fucking arcade, okay, bro? It's really easy, okay?
So, like, you get the crane operator guy, and he runs away because of the gun. And so now you're just like, what, we're fucked now. Basically, I'd say we're fucked because I don't know how to run no damn crane. So, and this kid's just doing it. But it's a movie, so I understand. Like, they're in the
I was going to say, that's
world.
Interesting. That nonsensical part bothers you, but none of the other nonsensical
Oh,
parts.
no, there's tons of nonsensical parts that bother me. It's just these are the ones I'm picking. It's just, and the final one, other than Mercedes Rule, which Mercedes Rule is a terrible parent.
Worst mother ever. Worst mother ever.
Mother of, like,
She's really into some Arnold, though, isn't she, dude?
She shows up in, doesn't she?
She's willing to do. She's willing.
Like,
to
if I would have made this movie, this kid would have had to listen to his mom and Arnold fucking. that night. You know what I'm saying? Like,
He's like,
Wait,
He's like,
what
what
does that
the fuck
sound like
did you
again,
learn?
Robbie? Go ahead. One more time.
I fucked a woman. I can't believe I fucked a woman last night.
it wasn't
was your
even my
mother.
ex. I pay somebody to call me
He looks
every
just
week.
like my ex-wife. What's this girl?
Do you think I would ever marry someone so stupid?
Yeah. she goggled. Oh, no. But man, I don't know. It's too long for what it is. The old man should be out of this. If you're gonna have an old man in it, you might as well have the sleepy old usher black man.
That old man gave me some fucking Page Master vibes, bro. I
Like,
was having
he was
fucking
giving Page
flashbacks,
Master.
man. It was
Goddamn.
bad.
I don't know
Is
that
it the
man's
dude from
name.
Page Master? It feels like it is.
The
Fuck.
ash on
So
his
you guys-
cigarette was
you guys-
crazy.
any old people that want to connect to a younger person, not in that weird way, but just I'm just saying. What?
I just like you said, not in that weird way.
Yeah, but sometimes this young person likes movies and
So,
stuff.
I always like to show off that I own this in physical media because it's important to me. And I didn't have the Blu-ray for Last Action Hero, but I do want to show you all this. I do have the VHS of this motherfucker.
Nice.
What a great VHS, dude. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good shit, dude. By the way, the action figures. We're still waiting for some super chats. So I can get a Last Action Hero Jack Slater action figure. Don't worry, we'll continue this in Rockin' Robbie Live.
You can't
This
spend
combo was
$50.
definitely
We
worth
just need to make
$30.
$30. 30. Well,
Jesus.
actually, YouTube takes
He's
30%.
begging for money. He's a
So we need
grifter.
like $40 in super chats between now and Sunday night, so I can get a Jack Slater action figure. But no, man, this is fucking ridiculous. This is
That
fucking
is so cool.
yeah. In it though, I should have watched this on VHS. I wasted $4.20 to fucking rent it
You
on
rented it?
Amazon.
I
But
watched
it
it
was,
on
it was in
was still the
HD.
same
You know what
movie.
I'm saying? It was widescreen.
PG-13.
Like yeah.
You couldn't say fuck. So I was like, Pluto TV, you're the way to go. Yay, free.
Hell yeah. Speaking of knowing how to operate a crane, Steph, why don't you tell us what you thought about the style and structure of the film?
I quite enjoyed it. I enjoyed the second half more so than the first half, where he's more like Arnold's in the real world. He's more like a fish out of water. I like those scenes. I think they kind of spent too much time in the action movie world because all the tropes we kind of see we see earlier on in the movie when kids watch the movie, and the movie kind of goes over each one of those tropes that the kids already called out, just like, hey, recognize that trope. But I think the more interesting parts are when Arnold crosses over and he's like realizing, he's not this infallible action hero here. Like maybe what this kid's been saying does hold weight. Beyond that, though, I really enjoyed it. Like, even the shitty parts, I think this movie holds up quite well. I would have probably turned it down to an hour 45. Cutting out a lot at the beginning. I think a lot of them, you could have. Some of the funnier, cooler moments, happen when he's in the action world, but you could have just done those as like bullet points. Like the more interesting moments to me happen when he's in the real world, and he's like running into Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's realizing he can't do certain shit. So I would have trimmed the first half of the movie a little bit and kept the second half. But beyond that, I like the character arcs. The boy is a troubled teen. He doesn't have a father figure. Arnold's grieving because he's lost his son, who would have probably been around the same age. So it's like they're vicariously getting those father-son relationships with each other, which is, it's something lightweight.
He even gets to repeat that at the end, right? In the final act, he gets to repeat the same situation pretty much, right?
Yep. So I think there's the style. It's great. I agree. I think they could have balanced it a little bit better. But I don't know if that's whether because I'm like trained to think that way because movies that come out nowadays would probably handle it that way, but maybe it was like more intentional with this movie. Like they wanted to juxtapose how crazy the action is in certain scenes and how non-exciting it is in others. But other than that, I think it holds up well. I enjoy it. I would trim up a little bit of it, but I think it does a great job. All
right, let's talk about the music. The music in the film, the score, is done by Michael Kamen. We've talked about Michael Kamen a lot. Michael Kamen is responsible for the score of movies we love, like Pink Floyd's The Wall, The Dead Zone, Brazil, Life Force, Highlander, Lethal Weapon, fucking Die Hard, The Adventures of Baron von Munchausen, right? Like, so many great movies. Roadhouse, Die Hard 2, Lethal Weapon 2, Hudson Hawk, Nothing But Trouble. Hudson Hawk, by the way, is the fucking best movie that everybody hates. Hudson Hawk is fucking brilliant, in my
The
opinion.
Bruce Willis satire, right?
Yeah. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, that movie sucks. We can all say that. Last Boy Scout,
No,
like,
it's awesome.
so many great fucking, like, we love Michael Kamen here. We love Michael Kamen. Michael Kamen is doing a parody of himself here. There's nothing that stands out about the music. There's not a theme. It's not like RoboCop, where we have that definitive theme that we were talking about last week, or even Die Hard, where we have that theme, same score, right? Even Roadhouse is a better score than this movie. I feel like Michael Kamen phoned it in, but that was the job. Phone this in. Make it sound like everything else. But as Eric alluded to, the soundtrack is fucking amazing. The fucking AC/DC song alone is worth it. Excuse me. But then you got the Alice in Chains shit, and I've been on a big Alice in Chains kick lately. The soundtrack kicks fucking ass, but doesn't match up with the movie. The soundtrack is like put together by people who are like, this is what's hot right now. Let's put it into the movie. It's not music that accentuates the music or accentuates the movie
Story.
or is,
Yeah.
you know, part of the movie, but it just feels like it's put in there after the fact. This was like, they really thought this movie was going to be a big deal, bro, and it wasn't. But the music's okay. The score's okay, but the soundtrack is dope. Even though I don't think it necessarily super fits. It's kind of like when you get to the end of that shitty ass movie, Mission Impossible 2, and you got a really, really fucking good Metallica and Limp Bizkit song from the year 2000. Which blows my mind because that usually doesn't exist, right? You usually don't say those words in the same fucking sentence,
Right.
but it's kind of like one of those things like, oh, there's a fucking song that we can put in this soundtrack that works. But this is one where I think the music is a little bit lackluster as far as the score, even though it's the great Michael Kamen. But I do think the soundtrack is pretty badass, but I don't think it fits for the movie. What about you, Eric? What do you think?
The soundtrack is killer, like you just said. Like, every song is awesome. You're right, though. It doesn't elevate anything, but I don't think that matters. And I would say the same thing for the theme. I think it does exactly what it needs to. Like, in 3 notes, it does everything that you need to when Arnold Schwarzenegger comes onto scene, right? He kicks a door down, you hear the slide guitar, and then that's all you need. You just need those 2 notes to dig, just so, hey, Arnold's here now and shit's about to go down. So even if he phoned it in, that's the high level that Michael brings on this. But like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I love this. Like, every single song. The only thing that stands out to me, who's gonna throw a Fishbone song on here when you got Megadeth?
Fishbone's on this motherfucker,
I
dude.
love
it.
Fishbone. Fishbone's great, but
Me too,
you don't
man.
throw them on a soundtrack with Megadeth,
doesn't
AC/DC.
fit, dude.
It doesn't at all. That's my only gripe. Everything else, perfect. 5 out of 5.
Also, the other thing here, Megadeth, Alice in Chains, AC/DC. How about Fishbone and Cypress Hill?
Yeah.
What do you think about the music, Brooks?
Well, like I agree with you that the score isn't a particular standout in this movie. It is very standard. Yeah, it's not as bad, but it's standard. It feels like, Michael Kamen is just being like, okay, so like this is a pastiche of action movies, so I'll just do I'll just do your kind of typical action movie score. But I really do like the soundtrack, like the way they throw these songs in here and like kind of like, especially like the hard rock stuff, because that's like, that's how they're kind of presenting like, action movies back in the 80s.
It's also
like,
your fucking jam, bro. Right? Like every band on this soundtrack is one of your favorite bands, bro.
Yeah. It's like, I love the Megadeth stuff, like to the opening of the movie. I was like, oh, awesome. And like, it's just like, it's one of those things. It is a very nostalgic thing, like, because like, and a lot of it is like the songs and the artists that did songs, like I didn't actually get into until like, probably a few years later down the line. Like as a kid, I wasn't listening to like Megadeth or Cypress Hill or any of that stuff. But like, having like later on developed, kind of listen to them more and learn to appreciate them more, like hearing them now on these, like on this soundtrack, this old school movie I remember watching as a kid, it kind of, it kind of elevates it a little bit for me, I guess.
Okay.
Even if it doesn't, it is kind of like jarring in a way, but it kind of feels like it's meant to be jarring too. Because that's kind of like an action moving thing too. Is like they're trying to like, shake things up to make you feel, like something's happening. So yeah, I think it's a good soundtrack, a decent score.
What's crazy is in 1993, I own on cassette the album Black Sabbath by Cypress Hill. I was the 12-year-old listening to Cypress fucking Hill. I didn't even know what a fucking bong was, but I knew we took hits from it. You know what I'm saying? But it explains a lot in my life. Speaking of hits from the bong, Stu, what do you think about the music in this film?
Yeah, man. So much of this stuff I came to discover, so many of these artists I came to discover after the fact. But I will say, much like the classic Maximum Overdrive, AC/DC is my strong musical recollection from this movie.
And that one is like, who made who?
Who made who? Yeah. Much like, I don't know, as a kid and as an adult, that was like the one band that really like stuck with me on the original watch and the rewatch. So, I got to shout out them. But yeah, incredible soundtrack, like you guys said. You guys have said it all. It's joyous to kind of revisit as an adult, and like all these bands I love and have come to really appreciate that I definitely was not hip to in '93. But yeah, AC/DC for me is the highlight as far as music.
Dude, for me, it's Alice in Chains, man. Like Alice in Chains is one of the greatest bands of all time, and like Eric said, that's a song you didn't get on any of their albums, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you got to listen to this Last Action Hero soundtrack. Dude, there's so many shitty movies. Not saying this is a shitty movie. Not saying Batman Forever is a shitty movie either. But there's so many movies that didn't super win over the populace that had great soundtracks. Batman Forever is one of them. This one's another one.
Where like whoever was putting it together was just like, yeah.
Dude, could you imagine if Seal was on this motherfucking soundtrack?
Right?
Dude?
Yeah.
Don't cry tonight, my baby. Speaking of Don't Cry Tonight, Jelani, what do you think about the soundtrack to this film? And don't cry tonight, bro. Not tonight.
I'll be all right. It has been a rough month, so yes, I won't cry tonight. I won't cry tonight. Let's see. I'm sorry, you guys were just talking about Alice in Chains and AC/DC, and I have no crap what you're talking about. Cypress Hill was good.
This motherfucker's going to act like he doesn't know who Alice in Chains is.
I know who they are. I just don't know what song. I don't know what song.
We have sung Man in the Box together in karaoke, I swear. So fuck you, man. You're
probably,
wrong.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, moving
we
on.
have not heard that song. I've never sung that song. Anyway, music's fine. The soundtrack I know is super lame. It's just one of those soundtracks that's just like wah, wah. And then you're right, Eric. That when Slater shows up, that's pretty much it. The music for me in this movie,
in Lethal Weapon, Michael Kamen had Eric Clapton come in, right? And this one he was like, I ain't calling Eric.
Probably me. See, I remember that because it's Lethal Weapon stuff, and like it's worth it in there. But this is like all the music for me in this movie was very forgettable. Like I don't remember any of it. Like it was just generic metal, and then we threw some stuff in there for fun. I wish Seal was in it. Seal would have made this probably if they had a song. If they put a Last Action Hero song out, I'd have been probably singing it back then.
They did. It was the AC/DC one. They did a music video and everything, man.
Here I go.
We're never gonna survive unless
Seal.
a little on.
Yeah.
They should put Crazy in this fucking soundtrack, right? Yeah, 100%.
Like,
that'd be great.
I'm not like I was super nostalgic over this music because I've never heard of any of it and I don't care. So it was just womp womp to me. I mean, as far as music goes, and I was gonna say this before y'all started gushing over it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I don't mind your thoughts on the music, but I feel like you're just trying to shit on us, man.
No, not at all.
I feel like you're trying to shit on fucking Alice in Chains, and like Alice in Chains is one of the greatest bands of the fucking 90s, bro. So like, you're really fucking wrong tonight, man. Okay.
Is it because you're jealous of our crane operator licenses, Jelani?
Yeah.
Tell us.
Oh, yeah.
Because he doesn't know how to operate a fucking crane.
I'm gonna die. Listen, Jack Slater, if he actually told me, hey, Jelani, go over there and play with this crane and help me save these people.
The only way to really feel a crane is to play Alice in Chains or AC/DC, bro.
Get up there on the controls, bro, and let it rip.
At that age, he grew up in the
Tony on here. Tony would have been like, Alice in Chains, man. I love that.
He grew up in the arcade, though. You know, it was this joystick. He just had to mess around with it.
You mentioned a video game. There was a video game tie-in to this movie.
Oh,
really?
It sucks.
It's trash.
It is very bad. It's
Is it an LJN?
so bad. Yeah, it might be as Super Nintendo. So I think maybe Nintendo had moved on from LGN at this point. But like, I feel like we really need to do this on our next like retro game night, y'all. We need I can try to get through last action. What about you, Steph? Speaking of NES, this was a distant memory by the time you were born, young man. So why don't you tell us what you think about the music in Last Action Hero?
What you gentlemen have said, it's not too memorable, but I think it has its instances where it sticks out.
What us gentlemen, aside from Jelani, have said is what you meant.
Aside from good old jab, have stated.
I think Chains is trash. There, I said it.
What?
It's effective though, you know.
Wait, hold on a second, Jelani. Repeat that real quick. Repeat that real quick.
Alice in Chains is trash.
Exile him.
Oh,
Yes.
there he goes.
All right.
What were you saying, Steph?
Journey to Nowhere.
But no, like I
Who
think
gives
you know
a fuck
it,
what Jelani thinks about this movie at this point?
it does a good job though. Like when you hear the guitar strings, you know Slater's coming on screen, and that's good enough for me. Yeah, I almost feel like it might have been like because like you were stating, Robbie, they were editing this movie up to like weeks before it was released. That maybe like the score might have been on that same time frame, you know. So he was just kind of giving them something, like he was paid to do a job real quick. He was doing that job, but at least it was effective in the sense that once you heard Slater's theme, you knew what time it was. It wasn't amazing, not memorable, but it was effective.
Hell yeah, Clayton! I see you out here in the chat. I love you, man. Super excited to see you here. All right, y'all. Time to get into the theme of the movie. We're pop culture philosophers. We like to dig a little bit deeper. So, Eric, what do you think this movie is saying to you? Last Action Hero, the cinematic masterpiece of 1993.
Oh boy, I'm digging deep on this, but I'm gonna go with the theme that change is possible, right? Because we see both Jack Slater and Danny Madigan go through the change and take on new responsibilities and new viewpoints based on the different worlds that they've now encountered. So yeah, so growth and change. That's hard, man. I had to dig for that one.
No, dude, dude. I don't care how far you had to dig for that, dude. That was fucking brilliant. I wish I would have thought of that. That's just right, dude. It's about change because it's something that Jack Slater does in the movie, right? He changes, right? He actually like stands up for himself. He breaks against the tropes, and that's a great idea. We all live in our own movie, right? It all starts with the story we tell ourselves, right? Check out Teen Dog Chase Night last night, where I dive a little bit deep into that, right? But it all starts there, right? The story we tell ourselves. We need to change that story sometimes, right? Jack Slater changes the fucking story. I also love that Jack Slater in this movie cannot pronounce Arnold Schwarzenegger's name correctly and always comes up with something fucking weird.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
I fucking love it. I love it. Brooks, what about you? What's this movie speaking to you?
Well, I mean, obviously, this movie is very much like about like the idea of like what an action star and like a hero in general is, and like how we could perceive it, because like the idea that there's this action world and then there's the real world, and like the kind of differences between those two. Like the kid gets robbed and he's like he has a chance to attack the guy, his attacker, but he can't do it because he knows like this is reality. I get my ass kicked. But he knows if he did the same thing in like Jack Slater movie universe, he'd beat the dude's ass easy. And it's like, and it's also it plays with the idea of like how we think of like action heroes. Like the it's like with John McClane, you know, you see him do stuff in Die Hard, he does his action thing, but then like in the next movie, like all this stuff has happened to him. It's you know, it's like we only see, you know, an action star like while they're doing action, you know. We don't, like, a lot of the life stuff that, you know, shapes them takes place off screen. And Jack Slater is no different, you know, because like at the end of Jack Slater 3, you know, his son dies. And like during that time, like between that movie and Jack Slater 4, which is where this movie picks up, he's had to, like, you know, go through, he's had to process that grief. And, you know, you can tell he's still dealing with that too. And like a lot of other things, like, you know, because even though he is like a fictional character, like, you know, he does, like, he has humanity to him, you know. He has his own feelings, and, you know, and it kind of, you know, the way it affects him, like learning that, you know, that people in this other world are basically, like, you know, creating this drama around him, like that they basically, like, you know, have caused all this pain to him just because, you know, they want to make, you know, an entertaining movie. You can tell it kind of messes with him, but, you know, he deals with it well, I think. You know, it's like, you know, because, you know, really when it comes down to it, in this world we don't have much control either, you know. Like, do any of us really have that much control over our lives? Like, all we can do is just, you know, go ahead and, you know, deal with things as they come, and, you know, be the hero of our own stories, you know. And remember that, you know, we're also shaped by the things that aren't, you know, the trials, you know, the little things in our lives are also important. And, you know, it's important to value those just as much as, you know, everything else.
Goddamn Brooks changing lives every week on PCP Movie Night. Look at that. Like, right. Stu, follow that up. I dare you.
Yeah, thank you, Brooks. Jesus Christ. All right. Well, to me, I think so many great things have been said already. To me, it's about Danny's kind of quest to protect his innocence and his fandom and his love of action movies and these characters, right? And I feel like this whole movie is like a journey for him to do that. And, you know, that's part of my favorite part of, like what he said about his performance, man. I love how tenacious he is. I love how unapologetic he is as a fan and a lover of this genre of movies. And I love how he's the driving force really from start to finish to kind of bring meaning to not only Jack, but these other, like the projectionists and all these other characters that are revolving around him or involved with his life.
I hate to interrupt, Stu.
No, go ahead,
We
bro.
can all agree that projectionist character does not need to be in this movie.
I mean, I'm saying, is his life not better though from contact with our boy? Like
the magical projectionist is just.
He should not be in contact with that boy.
He keeps that.
It's like a creepy uncle. It just feels like he'd do bad.
I'd feel better if it was his uncle, bro. To be honest with you,
if his uncle ran it. If that was his uncle and his uncle or his great uncle or whatever he's running it, or his grandfather.
No, because otherwise this kid's in the dingiest spot of LA to watch movies at midnight on a school night. That's fucked up, dude.
It's New York. It's worse.
Like in a father
I can't get over his disappointment, like, you know, answering the door with him in the rain at fucking 3:00 on the streets of New York City and acting disappointed that the kid's there. But
it just makes me think of the movie Pearl, and I'm like, just because a projectionist loves you doesn't mean that you're not going to kill them horribly with an axe, you know?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, to me, shout out to Danny, man. Like,
sorry for stepping all over your.
No,
theme.
it's okay. It's okay, dude. You're right. I shouldn't have brought the creepy old projectionist into the back of the
it happens.
But yeah, I should have kept it pure
it's
between
magic,
Danny and Arnold.
Houdini gave me these fucking tickets.
Exactly. But yeah, for me, it's definitely Danny's journey as a kid, as a fan.
No, you're right, 100%. I agree with that. What about you, Jelani? What's this movie speaking to you?
I mean, y'all all said it. It's like change, becoming the main character of your story, changing the tea leaves, making sure that the world is better for yourself to guide or to navigate it, because it's so hard to navigate through life. It really is. And to get a roadmap to figure it out, you know, might just be a magic ticket from Harry Houdini, for you to just, you know, tear that ticket and get the life that you would want to see. But then when you see that life, you realize that real life, you still have to make your way through it. And dragging Jack Slater into the real world, actually, it did change him in a lot of different ways. But he actually saw how real life actually works and the tools of it. And of course, Madigan goes on that side and sees it as well. So it's a lot. It speaks to a lot of things. It is a lot of different perspectives with it, but also the main thing, go to school and learn something. I don't think he learned to go to
square.
I think
Did this motherfucker really just say go to school?
Go to school. He's gonna be don't do drugs, eat your greens, stay in school.
Respect your mama.
He didn't learn to be Jack Snyder's Robin by Jack Snyder's Robin going to school.
Talk to him.
It didn't change him. It didn't. Yeah, I don't think
you want to see Damian Wayne in fucking school, bro. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Right.
Yeah, Damian Wayne was trained by freaking assassins. Although that is a school because you learn something. You know what I'm saying? So it's something. It's something every day.
Maybe he does.
Yeah, maybe he does.
That's
kidnapped. I don't know. By assassins. I don't know, but that's what I got from it. I mean, it's okay. You can't
go to school and take your vitamins. Is basically what you're saying.
Basically,
learn how to operate a crane.
No, actually, learn how to operate a crane.
Learn how to
learn it. Hey, you get paid well as a crane operator. I'm just saying.
Buddy, you gotta get certified and all that shit,
go to
dude.
school. Learn a trade.
One day you may help Spider-Man.
Get your life together. All I'm saying is that kid's set up for failure.
Yeah, by the way, Andrew Garfield's fuck without crane operators. You know what I'm saying? So there you go.
Oh, that was cute.
You like that? Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man movies, by the way, are the fucking worst. Okay, moving on. Yeah. What about you, Steph? What's this movie saying to you?
Amazing Spider-Man's all right. It's Amazing Spider-Man 2 is shit. I'll give you that. Amazing Spider-Man 2 has its ways.
No.
All right, I hate to do that on his birthday, but like, come on, man.
They're all trash. They're all trash.
I'm not a fan.
Andrew Garfield is the worst Spider-Man. Period. Worst.
2. Yeah. I mean, okay.
He's the worst Peter Parker.
If you take the absolute worst Peter Parker, because he's too edgy. He can do everything. Like a kid like that will not be a nerd. He can fucking skateboard. He can draw. He's into science. Like that's a cool kid. Not someone who get picked
Peter
on.
Parker. Did you read Amazing Fantasy 15?
Took Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker and Andrew Garfield and used him as Spider-Man, you'd have the perfect Spider-Man. Because Andrew Garfield's cocky enough where it's like that's where Peter Parker's getting all that energy out,
But you don't remember that bit in Amazing Fantasy 15 when like Peter Parker's on the fucking half pipe showing tricks to Liz Allen or anything like that?
What? I'm so cool.
You take a shot.
Look at me in my hair. My hair's so cool.
Well, I will say this thing is like the classic 80s Journey song, Don't Stop Believing. Don't give up hope. Right? I actually disagree with you guys. I think the projectionist was necessary to the film because he was a man who had given up hope, and he was,
but not in a creepy way, right?
Not in a creepy way. But, he was an example of someone who had given up on his dreams, had kind of lost his spark in life, and
he never had the courage to tear the ticket and see for himself.
Exactly. The kid.
What a little bitch, by the way, dude. Harry Houdini gives you a ticket and tells you it's magic.
That always made me a little edgy.
I could have met Gobbo.
Get out of him. Life.
And it doesn't run out, so you can wait. You can use it whenever. You can go into whatever world and pull out.
I can bring Dracula, King fucking Kong into the fucking movie.
The same. We all used to play with action figures as we were little kids, and that shit was fun. But now it's like we kind of look at kids and like, how do you do that? We've lost that magic. He lost that magic to believe in such things.
Yeah, you're right. If you want to help us rediscover that magic, $30 super chats to get the last action hero action figure right now. Come on.
It's important, guys. Let's help Robbie rediscover this magic. I think that's it's about don't give up hope, like Jay, and it's kind of relates to what you guys were saying in terms of them changing. The kid was changed by this because he didn't give up hope, and he kept hoping that his favorite action hero would come and save the day. And he actually learned some things along the lines with that. Jack Slater learned some things as well. He changed as well. They didn't give up hope. So I will say hope.
I really fucking like that. I know that we're all fucking having fun and stepping all over each other, but dude, y'all have all nailed it, especially you, Steph. It's about that. This is what the movie is to me. It's a deconstruction of action movies. That's what it is. It's Alan Moore taking his look at 80s action movies and breaking it down. But if Alan Moore actually had fun with his fucking scripts, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like if Grant Morrison was doing it, right? Where like Grant Morrison can deconstruct something but have fun with it. But you know what? We're not here to talk about that. But it's about the ridiculousness of these action movies. But it's also about the importance of them. Right?
Yeah.
Let's take 80s action movies. Let's move forward 20, 30 years. Right now, there's a lot of hate on the MCU. Rightly so, because the MCU right now currently is trash, right? However, there's a lot of people being like, the MCU's always been fucking trash. Y'all are stupid. Then there are people like, the MCU's always been great. But the reality of the situation is this. MCU's been okay, great, and bad. That's just how movies are, right? But it doesn't matter if a movie is great, good, or bad. The importance is how it affects the people watching the movie, right? This is a movie about the importance of bad movies, okay? And what I mean by that is this. Not every movie is Citizen Kane. Not every movie is American Beauty or Dazed and Confused or 2001: A Space Odyssey. And if every movie tried to be that, movies would suck. But some movies just want to be fun and escapist. And I hate saying this because part of the reason why we do PCP, Pop Culture Philosophers, we believe there's a reason why we like the movies that we like, why we like the comics that we like, why we like the fiction that we like. There's a reason for that. It's a modern day mythology, right? There are some really shitty, sleazy, mythological stories that still resonate with some element of truth, right? And I don't like saying that movies are escapist, right? Because to me, movies are more than an escape. It's trying to learn, right? Or trying to understand something about the human nature. Because even Last Action Hero is a piece of art, y'all. It's a piece of art. It's art, right? Whether if it's commercial or whether it's trying to do something deeper, it doesn't fucking matter. Sometimes the best thing we can get out of a piece of art is a brief escape from our current reality. And maybe the introduction of another reality tunnel that happens in this movie. It happens to the fucking kid who looks up to Jack Slater and throughout the course of the movie realizes this is a normal dude with flaws and insecurities, just like me, right? And then you got Jack Slater, who's an action hero, who comes into this situation and realizes I'm a real fucking person with insecurities, just like this fucking kid. That's what the movie's about to me. It's about the bridge of the action hero and the action movie fan, right? Maybe we need a little bit more courage in our lives. Maybe we need a little bit more reality in our lives. Maybe we need a little bit more acceptance into the nuances of life. And sometimes we need to understand what it's like to take a fucking chance and move forward. The movie could be better if the kid had more of a chance to do that, or if Arnold learned that a little bit more. But I do think the movie is about that. It's about deconstructing the action film, but also understanding the significant and almost spiritual importance of the action film, right? the cheesiest movie out there, if it resonates with you, if it teaches you something about life, it's important. Art is important no matter how ridiculous it may seem. And to me, that's the theme of the movie, right? It doesn't matter how shitty the movie is or how great the movie is. If you want to watch Nicolas Cage and The Wicker Man and think that it changed your life, more power fucking to you. And I'm going to be there behind your fucking side, patting your back, being like, hell yeah. Elevate yourself through the fiction that we love. And that, my friends, is the mission statement of pop culture philosophers. We love the movies we love for a reason. And sometimes that reason is to know that movies may seem like shit to other people, but if they're important to us, they're fucking important. That kid's life was changed forever by the influence of Arnold or Jack Slater in this film. Jack Slater's life was changed forever by the influence of this kid. By the way, Jack Slater 5 tanked. It was the end of the franchise because he tried too hard to be too good. But y'all get what I'm saying, right? Like, what we do here on PCP is we talk about art, right? And we talk about these movies. Bloodsport is a very important film to me, right? Because it teaches me to keep going, to strive, to reach above. And that's what this movie's about.
To survive, you might say.
Yeah, right. It's the fight to survive. But that's what Jack Slater teaches this kid in this movie. But the kid teaches Jack Slater in this movie to like be more nuanced, to not take everything so seriously. And to me, it all gets hammered home when Jack Slater meets Arnold Schwarzenegger and says, I hate you. You've caused me so much pain. Do we really need pain and misery in our fiction to lead us to this? Do we not have enough of that in our real lives with the people that we know and love? Do we not have enough pain and misery? We really have to torture our fucking heroes just to understand the torture that we go through every fucking day? Yes, we do. And it's the role of an action hero, and it's the role of an action hero fan, if that makes sense to you. So anyway, now it's time to rate the film. You out there in the chat, out of 5 possible you digs, what do you give Last Action Hero? Eric, you're the easy dick. You're gonna keep us. You're gonna kick us off tonight, man.
All right. So I hang with me for a second because there's something Jelani said that really made me kind of reconceptualize what I thought of the theme here, and it's going to tie in with what I think of the score as well. So I think a lot of this also revolves around free will and fate, right? Choice and fate. Arnold or Jack Slater, he was fated to fail his son. He was fated, to have his son die, right? And to live with that guilt. He didn't have the choice because it was scripted for him. It was right there. There was no choice whatsoever. When given the choice in the free world, under the same circumstances, he saves Danny Madigan. He saves that child's life. Fate tells me that this is a 3.69 movie. But choice tells me it's a 5 all day.
Let's go.
Hold on a second. Did you just give this movie a 5?
A 5.
Beautiful.
Fuck yes.
One more
Okay.
time. A
Okay.
5.
Beautiful.
Oh fuck yeah, dude.
All right.
Eric is
Well said.
Eric is drinking.
I'm grading on the
Kool-Aid.
ActionFest scale, so just throwing that out there too.
Oh, shut the fuck up. That's the Horror Fest scale,
the
bro.
Horror
The Horror scale is different. Yeah.
Yeah, the Horror Fest scale is a little bit different, but you know what? You giving it a 5? Everything I just said. It doesn't matter what we think about the movie. If it's important to somebody, it's an important film. It's art.
I mean, we can sit here and act like Street Fighter isn't a 5, but we all know it's a 5.
Talk
Street
to
Fighter's
him.
a 5.
Talk to him. Talk to him, bro.
This guy.
I'm just saying.
You ain't got to talk to me. Street Fighter's a 5, dude. It's fucking... Raul Julia alone is a fucking 5 in Street
Yeah.
Fighter, man.
Think
No,
John Carter's
no,
better
you're
in
right.
this movie or Street
I'm gonna get teary-eyed. I'm gonna start crying when we start talking about Raul Julia.
Don't get me
I
fucked
gotta
up,
give it to
dude.
Street Fighter, bro.
Yeah.
Street Fighter's a 5. Street Fighter's better in this movie, but you know what? We don't want to shit right now. We don't want to step on what Eric just said. So,
Which is
5 you
beautiful.
digs
There-
from Easy Dick Eric from 9-Panel Grid, which you should vote right now for cbcawards.org for best new channel. And if you don't, I'm really fucking pissed off at you. So like, don't do that. We got no super chats tonight to help me get my Jack Slater action figure. Don't worry. We'll do that on Sunday. Don't worry. We're going to lead up into that. Brooks, what about you? Perfect score? Les, what do you think? What do you think about Last Action Hero? What do you rate it?
I do love this movie, and it does make me laugh like a lot. But I couldn't say I would give it a 5. Like, as far as action movies go, like if you compare it to like Predator, or like even like or like a lot of my favorite action movies, I'd say it's like I give it a 4.5. It's almost perfect, but I think it kind of drags a little bit towards the end, and I think the comedy almost dilutes it a little bit in a way, as far from being like a pure action movie. But for what it is, like it is really a fun movie. I really did enjoy it, and like I said, it made me laugh a whole lot, and it's good to laugh.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! That's a really 4.5 from Brooks. What about you, Stu? What do you think?
Yeah.
Hey,
fuck yeah.
Wait, can I offer something real quick before Stu goes, Brooks? Just in case you forgot.
You trying to change minds right now, Eric?
Arnold's daughter is in this. You want to bump that up to a 4.69, maybe?
I don't do 0.69. I think that's dumb.
He thinks it's dumb, but I want to tell you this. The only reason why this movie would get a 0.69 from me is if the daughter got involved in the sex scene, because I would be down with that, bro. Stu, what do you think?
For me, 4 out of 5. Like it's a great movie. Had so much fun on the rewatch. Still, like a few too many inconsistencies for me to put it at a 5 out of 5. However, I love it. I think it's got so many, like the comedic moments for me were really what won me over on the rewatch. I agree with it. Like so many great, insightful, intriguing philosophical things said about. You'd think we're talking about the Shawshank Redemption or something. You know what I mean? I love
that's
this.
What we do on PCP.
Dude, I love it.
We get everybody going. Maybe I need to rethink about what I think about Paranormal Activity.
What are we
Part
watching,
6.
right?
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that.
Dude, I just gotta say, man, I haven't laughed this hard on a stream in quite a minute. So it's been a pleasure joining y'all tonight. But yeah, 4 out of 5 for me, fellas.
You haven't laughed this hard on the stream since the last PCP movie night you've been on, my friend.
Well, there you
Just
go.
So you know.
There you go.
Just so you know. I've been marking. I'm like Eric over there. I'm like marking it down. Like how many laughs people are doing.
I caught
what
it.
about you?
19 right now, by the way. We
I'm
need
gonna
one
tell
more.
you,
Let's make it.
like last week, RoboCop, which everybody gave a 5, we were already 30 minutes done with this fucking movie review. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's RoboCop, that's easy. Last Action Hero, that's a little bit more difficult to talk about and a little bit more nuance. And we bring the nuance. Speaking of nuance, Delaney's got nuance in the ways that he masturbates. What do you think about the film over out of 5, you digs?
I switch it. That's the problem. That's the secret.
A stranger.
Yeah. I don't know why I rate this so high though, but it is what it is. Even with our discussion tonight and all of our philosophical talk and how fun it is, it's an okay movie. I said that before. I say it again. I mean, even after us talking about it, it's an okay movie. Like, I watched it first, and then I wanted to see Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is clearly a 5. It is a 5.69. It is a life-changing experience. When you see the Brontosaurus, the Brachiosaurus for the first time, and the music swells, you're like, da da!
We also had a PCP movie night during the COVID shit where John Hammer Time Holshoe rented out a theater for us to watch Jurassic Park.
Watch Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Like,
what?
It was cool. It was gorgeous.
Awesome.
We cried a lot.
It was great, dude. It was like the first movie we had seen together since Bloodshot. So it was like even better.
What a great
It was Bloodshot ended our watching of our movie theater, the love of our movie theater. It was ended on a stupid Vin Diesel movie, but it is what it is. But all of that being said, and all of the scores that have been given, I'm actually lowering my score. I'm going to give it a 3. It is so mundanely average.
Bro, what the fuck? You literally just dropped it? Like
I was gonna give it a 3.5, I was gonna give it a 3.5.
But
I
you
took
said
a
you
point
love the
off.
style and structure.
It was all right. It was
Somebody
fun.
with a blue wrench has got to like drop a link to some kind of crane operating YouTube video to help this guy out.
That's
Yeah.
all it is. That's all it
Fable.
is.
Once
Two
once
Gun
Delaney
Pedro,
learns-
let us know how to. This is a man who does not know how to operate a crane. We've already proven that tonight.
I'm not operating a crane.
There's
We're all
4
gonna
levers.
die.
I don't know what the fuck to do.
If you ask me to do something with a crane,
You
you're
give this
gonna
guy
die.
an Xbox, he's like,
You knew how to drop that score real easily, though.
Sorry, you're gonna die. But it's like I don't. If you train me to do it, I'll do it. But not. We got 3 minutes to move this crane. Sorry, y'all motherfuckers dead.
Yeah, sorry, bro. I haven't been through orientation yet, man. I don't even know what the fuck is
I
going
mean,
on.
push the coffin. I just pushed the coffin off the roof or something. I'd have done that.
I love how much this movie reviews come up to like how quickly we think someone can learn how to operate a fucking crane.
Yeah.
How smart do you think your average crane operator is?
It gets paid a lot of money. I'm pretty sure it's a lot of money. It's blue collar work. And
There's
it's
4
like,
goddamn levers, man. You tell me you can't figure that shit out in like 2
Fred Flintstone
seconds?
did it.
we're dead.
It's like
Well, he had a real one. He had a brontosaurus.
If Fred Flintstone can fucking do it,
He had a brontosaurus.
and he
That's
had
a lot
the
easier.
goddamn dinosaurs working for
You're,
him.
you're wrangling a brontosaurus. Come on. But yeah, it's like
Yeah. We're about to have the crane operators union on our ass tomorrow morning.
how dare you?
Fucking sons of bitches think they are.
If you
See,
give
the
me a
difference
plus
table, the
train-
difference table between you and Jelani is that you're bumping it up for Steph's birthday. Jelani's like, because it's Steph's birthday, I'm dropping it down
I
0.69.
didn't say that shit. I didn't say nothing like that.
No, but
Steph
we
had
knew
a
your
birthday.
intent, motherfucker. That's what I'm
This
saying.
movie's a 3. This movie is a hot 3. It is so average. The music discounts it completely.
It's just
If
been
I had
so
music that's worth
angry
a damn,
at the review tonight.
if I had music that I could sing, that I could understand and be like, oh, instead of like, if I didn't have that,
He still
Hey.
gave a better score than he did Funhouse, and that we gave fucking Burial Ground. So at least we got that right.
I'll take.
what else?
I'll, yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Steph's
You
gonna
love
take
what you
that
love.
on his birthday. Steph, happy fucking birthday! Happy
Happy birthday,
fucking
Steph.
20. Let's stop the bullshit. You're 22 years old tonight, and I really do appreciate you being here with your young ass, with your
You're such
sexy
a
mustache. The only man I know personally who has a sexy mustache. But thank you for being here. And a lot of people out here in the chat want to be on a mustache ride. So why don't you tell us what you think about the film? What do you rate it out of 5 you digs?
I will say thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. It's, I look forward to. My 25th birthday is what I'm really aiming for. So just keep out for me on the
in 8 years. When you hit 25.
8 years, please. But I feel like everyone's ratings have been valid. Like I can definitely understand why someone would score this as a 3.5. Like it does kind of get lost in the sauce. If you've kind of seen shit since then, like it's not gonna really hold up to it. But maybe it is a nostalgia pull, But I will give this. I'll meet you guys in the middle. I was realistically, this is probably like a 3.5, 3.69. But I think Stu was on the money with a solid 4. Just in terms of how effective the movie is and nostalgic reasons, I'll give it a 4. I think it holds up well. They might never admit it, but I think the MCU owes quite a bit to Die Hard and The Last Action Hero in terms of the flavor of movies and the way they structure their movies. It's one of Arnold's best roles, I really do believe he would have gotten True Lies had he not done this movie, Maybe he
That's
maybe
actually
would
a
have,
very
James
true
Cameron.
statement.
But this was a good setup for getting audiences exposed to him kind of doing the True Lies thing. He's not just an action guy. He's not just the fucking big goof he was in Twins. He can balance it.
I'm an average, normal American guy.
I'm just an average.
I throw the football. I catch it.
Super buff.
I grill the burgers.
I smoke average man cigars.
I like Marlboros and Budweiser.
There's always a guy in the closet.
Arnold is my name.
My name is John
I'll give
Smith.
this this and the conversation alone has elevated this movie. You know, realistically, is a 3.5, 3.69, but this conversation puts this movie at like a 4.5.
You know
But
what? That's fine, man.
Let's go. Keep it going. Keep it going.
You're not wrong
Big fact.
for scoring this 3. You know, you're just a
Yeah.
little misguided, like the kid was in this movie before. He
Yeah,
met
Eric
Schwarzenegger
wants you
and
to bump it up a little bit because he gave this movie a fucking 5. I just want to point out to everybody.
I saw
I was
Jurassic Park after this movie.
You know what?
I'm just saying.
I'll give it a 4.5. Hey,
Let's
give it
go.
a 4.
Let's go.
Oh, shit.
I'll bump it up. I'll put 0.5.
Birthday bump. Birthday bump.
It's a birthday.
Big
I
bump.
love when Steph changes his review score over spite. I love it. I love it so much.
I've got to balance it out. I've got to balance it. You know.
All right, for me, I'm going to say this. I got really harsh on Powerade a couple weeks ago. I said Powerade Zero sucks compared to Gatorade Zero because I had fruit punch. It sucked. But the orange and the grape and this mixed berry, which is the first time I've had this, is really fucking good. This mixed berry Powerade Zero is really good. That being said, I got to understand what this movie's trying to do. I got to separate it from Jurassic Park. I've got to separate it from other action movies maybe of the time, but I shouldn't. Because 1993 is actually kind of weak as far as the 80s action movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is one of the last hurrahs. It's the penultimate 80s action movie. Because we still had True Lies, but this and True Lies, that was the true end of the 80s action movie franchise, right? And I love these movies. Jelani, my favorite movie franchise or movie genre is definitely horror. Second is sci-fi. Third, though, I really like action. I really, really do. Maybe I like slice of life dramedies slightly better, but I do love this movie. I had a lot of fun rewatching it. And I got to be very honest with this movie. And so I'm going to give it a 3.5. You digs. I don't think it's worth this 0.69 unless there was a gnarly sex scene with the daughter, then maybe a 0.69, right? But for me, it's a 3.5. I really do like this movie. It was a fun rewatch. I want to buy it. And so all of the scores from everybody.
Hold on, Robbie, before you accumulate those, let me just say, remind you, the daughter had a boss fight scene where she like killed some dude and made it sound like she was getting her ass beat.
What was all the
No other movies
screaming
made-
with? What was all the screaming?
She had a boss ass fight scene at the
Dude,
end
we
of
don't
Act
need any of
2,
that. Steph's
bruh.
trying to talk it up.
At the end of Act 2, man. Anyway, a 3.5 from me, 4.5 from you, Steph, a 3 from Jelani, a 4 from Stu, a 4.5 from Brooks, and a fucking 5 from fucking Eric.
Dude.
You may never be invited back on this fucking show again. I don't fucking know, but we'll see what happens. But that's a PCP average of 4.110089300068, dudes.
Yeah.
So that's pretty fucking dope.
He was
Actually.
correct on the nostalgia bump, you know. If you didn't grow
No,
up with
he's
this movie,
right. We're all right. That's the thing. We're all right.
that's
Yep.
true.
And we're all wrong. And that's the point of this movie. Is part of the theme.
Subjective.
We're all right and we're all wrong. Anyway, we've almost gone as long as the fucking movie, but not quite.
Oh shit.
No, it's great. No, I think overall we're telling you this. Watch Last Action Hero. Fucking Greg gives it a 10, but
Let's go.
we only got so much love for Greg's fucking ratings here on the channel. Nah, dude, you should have joined us, man. You're like, fuck, dude. You should join us for another PCP movie night. He's probably like, I would, but you never send me the list. But it's okay. Don't worry. Let me tell y'all something. Thus concludes our review of Last Action Hero. However, next week, ActionFest continues with one of the most highly anticipated movies we've ever done here. It's one of my favorite movies of all fucking time. Next week, we're talking about Blade, motherfuckers, directed by Stephen Norrington, starring Wesley Snipes, Chris Christopherson, and sexy ass Deacon fucking Frost. Get the fuck out of here. Blade.
I always loved
next week.
his Deacon's
No,
Frost hair
Bruce
in the
Wright
Blade movie, bro.
is
I always thought that
awesome.
was so cool. He's like, yeah,
Dude.
did you do the spinning thing with the fucking sword? He's like, shut the. I love
If anybody
Such a
gives
great
this
film.
movie less than a 5 next week, you're fucking banned. You're done. You're out of the fucking crew. You're just fucking not coming
so much
back,
for
dude.
all scores
Y'all,
are
if
right and
there's a
all
I'm
third
scores are
sorry.
grade
wrong.
movie,
I'm
send
Not
it.
sorry.
biased at all.
I'm sorry. Also, next week on Rockin' Robbie Live, we are revealing the Horror Fest 2024 lineup in full. Blood Splatter Chatter, Dylan's Horror Show, PCP Movie Night. It's the best, most transgressive and subversive horror fest we've ever fucking had. And it's great. But next week, join us for Blade here on ActionFest. You know you want to be there. I'm watching this bitch on fucking VHS and DVD. All within the next week because I love this movie so much. All right, Eric, thank you so much for being here. Final thoughts. What you got coming up?
Coming up, actually, just this morning, my comic book review for last week's comics came out, and it's just my humble opinion that if you missed this, it would be a big mistake.
Oh,
Hey, let's go, Eve.
All right, that's it. That's all you
good.
got.
That's all I got, man.
That's good.
I'm just trying
Everybody
to up
go
the
for
impression
Eric for
ratio.
best new channel at the cbcawards.org. Please. He deserves it. He really, really does. All right, Brooks, thank you for being here. Final thoughts?
Well, me and Delaney do Guild Figures, and I'm not sure what videos he's put up yet.
no, they're the ones we did. What we did last week. Or yeah.
There's
Yeah,
one.
So, yeah, the
There's
doll
one
spinning
right
and
there.
bison.
How about that?
Yeah. Yeah,
Long
it was
ass
nice.
leg, bro.
It was 2 figures. It was 2 figures. We did Dawson and M. Bison. And
Is that a leg or a dick? Man, I
I'm
can't
about
tell.
to say that leg is crazy.
That's the leg you get. You get legs and arms that extend like that, and they're bendy wire, so they're pretty freaking cool.
It's a yoga thing. You wouldn't understand.
It's yoga fire, yoga
Yeah,
flame.
Yoga noogie.
Yeah, all that fun. So yeah, they're pretty awesome. And we did the
Hold on a second, Jelani. We're not at you yet. Brooks, continue.
what's the other one we did, Brooks?
It doesn't matter, man. Just Brooks' final thoughts. We still got to get to you, Jelani.
Oh, for my final thought, I guess I'll say, Robo Baby Buggy Bumpers.
Fuck
We get
you.
to see that
That
one
was
coming, did
goddamn
you?
my fucking final thought. God damn it.
Oh!
Fuck you. Fuck you, dude. I thought
Oh,
nobody would
my
remember
bad.
that but me. Fuck you. You fucking piece of shit, dude.
Am I
You took
fine?
Charles
Man?
Dance.
Am
I
I
was gonna say
Charles
that, did
Xavier,
you?
bro?
Rubber
took
baby bunkas. When he said that shit, I cracked up so fucking much. It was great. Stu, thank you for being here. What you got coming up?
Yeah, man. Thanks so much for having me. I had a great time tonight. Wednesday nights, 9:30 p.m. on Dr. Doom's Fan Club on YouTube. Supreme Clientele. Me and my boy Steph. We got our 1-year anniversary coming up in a couple of weeks, man. I can't believe it's been a year already. So yeah, y'all tune in, breaking down comics new and old every Wednesday night. Final thoughts. Something is rotten in the state of Denmark. And Hamlet's
Rubber
taking out the
baby
trash, bro.
bunkas. Rubber baby bunkas.
Incredible movie. Had so much fun doing this one with y'all. Thanks for having
Fuck
me.
yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Jelani, final thoughts. What you got coming up? I know you got this rubber baby bunkers fucking video.
Come on,
coming
baby,
up.
Bobby Bunkers. Yeah, we had the Jada Toys, which was our toy company of the year last year, because they're affordable, they're awesome, they come with cool accessories. That M. Bison comes with a cool ass cape. There's so many cool things about this figure. You hold on for like 2 seconds. I will show you how awesome these are. Yeah, here you go. This is Dalsim with his foot. He's awesome.
Can you
Like I
bend
said,
that leg for me, please?
It's a bendy leg.
Bruh, look at that. He didn't do that in the game, man.
He's got bendy arms too, but yeah,
That's
he's
so
got
cool.
he's got the bendy arm.
Hell
It's pretty
yeah.
awesome. Watch our video.
Can we all agree that Dalsim's one of the weakest parts of the Street Fighter movie that we all love? Like, let's
He
be
is.
honest. Right?
He's got hair.
They
The
did not-
second he showed me hair, and he's like a scientist, I was like, I'm out.
He's just an afterthought.
I'm out.
It's like,
And
oh
then,
wait,
of
we
course-
forgot the yoga guy.
They put more fucking like
Yeah,
they put more fucking passion in the DJ than they do fucking Dalsim
They
in
do.
this fucking movie.
that's Joanna Man.
It
It
is
is
Juana, man, dude.
Yeah.
The dude that got killed on the
That guy
fucking
never has a real
dude that
name.
got killed in the outhouse in fucking Friday
Yeah.
Part 5, dude. I love it.
That's right. But yeah,
And Return of the
this
Living
M.
Daddy's
Bison's
in.
clean. It's a bendy cape. you're getting this for like decent amounts of money. Like you can find if you can find them because they're so cool.
Yo,
Anyway,
do you
the other thing we did was the Nightfall 2-pack, Batman versus Bane. He
Nice.
also has a
Nice.
big cape. It's very, very nice. I love this set. It is freaking awesome. Check out our video for him. We do have tons of other videos. Check out our stuff. I don't know if we're in the CBC thing because we're toys, but
Y'all have been nominated for something.
Yeah, I'm pretty
we're
sure.
nominated. We're probably
I'm
not
pretty
going to win.
sure y'all are.
It's fine, but thanks, guys, for if you did vote for us too. I guess
You can still go nominate right now. CBCAwards.org.
Nominate us. Sweet, we're there. Go Figure Reviews. Me and Brooks, we work super hard, and Manny works super hard on our thumbnails. So we really appreciate you guys and all that other fun stuff. And I'll get out of the way. Yeah. Oh yeah. My final thought.
Yo,
to be or not to be, There, I got mine.
You fucking
Go,
lost
go!
the goddamn ending tonight.
Go,
baby
go!
bunkers. That was what I was gonna end. I thought nobody would say that tonight, but me, man. That's fucking fuck you, Brooks. I hate you. I fucking hate you,
Jelani,
my
do you have
goddamn
those,
enemy, man. Declare doom.
I thought the same thing. I was like, nobody's gonna remember that little throwaway line.
Rubber baby bunkers. Because he's trying to say something the whole movie that like nobody can see coming. I fucking love it. Steph, happy fucking birthday. Final thoughts.
Thank you. Jelani, real quick, do you have those like the OG Marvel vs. Street Fighter toys? Like
the
Scott, they had
X-Men
like
versus Street
Cyclops and like
Fighter
a
ones, right? Yeah, those were dope. We were just talking about those the other day, man.
I only have Mega Man.
I had the Cyclops and the M. Bison figures, but I never had any of the others.
Yeah.
So
I only had Capcom versus Marvel, and I had the Mega Man and War Machine.
I had the whole first wave, bro.
Nice.
I had the whole first wave of those Street Fighter X-Men figures. So it was like Cyclops and Wolverine, M. Bison,
I had Wolverine,
Ken and Ryu.
I had Ken and Ryu for a while. I sold them. I forgot.
They were so great. They all Kuma.
Yeah.
And they came with these action features and shit like that. And then they did the second wave, which I didn't have, which had like Chung-Li, Apocalypse, Dalsim. I didn't have the second wave, but the first wave I fucking had. That shit was dope as fuck. They're expensive as fuck now if you go try to find them in the after. Not as cheap as the Last Action Hero action figure.
So
for reasons.
Guys, let's donate. Let's get Robbie his Last Action Heroes. Let's complete that childhood, you know? Let's do it. But final thoughts. You guys are the action hero in your own lives, just like Jack Slater.
We're all Jack Slater.
That's so fucking good.
Oh yeah, bro.
So fucking good. What a great fucking show. My final thought would be Rubber Baby Bubby Bunky Bunkers or whatever the fuck it was. But now I'm all fucked up. So I'm just gonna say Last Action Hero. That's great. Join us next week for Blade. Check out Eric's new video. He's one of the best new YouTube channels out there in the community. Go vote for him for best new channel. The Bane and Batman review. And Bane also has movable tits. So join that. And Dalsim versus M. Bison. That's good. And check out Blame Fable tonight and his amazing friends coming very soon with the UK Ireland takeover. So just be ready for that. ActionFest reveal is next Sunday night on Rockin' Robbie Live. And next week we're doing Blade. But for my final thoughts, I'll say this. I'll be back. You didn't think I would say that, did you? Because I'm a normal, average American guy. I have to work for a paycheck. I am weak. And
going home to eat my microwave dinners.
I like my Swanson dinners. I have an ex-wife who's ugly. We'll see you guys. Fuck it. Baby bunkers. Whatever the fuck, man. Powerade Blue is really good.